Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We had a little bit of a schedule change. We thought we would be doing a different game tonight. But Abby will be busy next week, so we thought it's a little less of a devastating blow if we're without her next week than if we lose her with Blades in the Dark as opposed to Dungeon World. So we've switched them around. We'll have Dungeon World next week. And instead, we get part 2 of Blades in the Dark because we just loved it so much. We couldn't give it up that quickly. We had to get right back into action. So my name is Sean, and I will be the GM for this game and this session. And hopefully we don't go crazy or anything, but we'll see. It's a crazy game. And my 3 lovely players are Logan, Abby, and Sarah. And does anyone want to give a quick recap of what we did last session for me? Does anyone remember? It can be collaborative.
Okay. We were was it the Red Sashes who asked us to do a heist?
The Wraiths.
The Wraiths.
Wraiths.
Strike number 1.
I tried. The Wraiths. So we had to save the Wraiths by getting rid of some incriminating documents that the Blue Coats had. And
yes,
there was a case being built against the Wraiths, and so we had to disappear the documents by infiltrating the Blue Coat headquarters in Nightmarket, which we did so well.
So successfully.
Well. Flawlessly? No.
Flawlessly,
well,
no.
Yes.
Successfully, I guess. Yes.
But I now have an enemy in the Blue Coats.
Sarah gained a rival, Sergeant Arthur.
Sergeant Arthur is now
a nemesis,
out to
one
get
might
me.
even say.
A nemesis. I ruined his life temporarily.
Yes. Well, you don't know. It could be permanent.
He'll recover.
So, yeah.
Sergeant Arthur will be fine.
Echo, yes, has a nemesis, and Sylph is now haunted. And that just made it out pretty
relatively
okay.
unscathed, yeah.
Compared to those 2 options.
Yeah.
You take the most stress, though, I feel like, out of all of us.
I think so,
yes,
too.
But I also relieved the most.
True. He did have better vice rolls, so he did pretty good on that. And in doing so, you have established your gang, basically. The Wraiths have given you permission to use part of Nightmarket as your hunting grounds, and y'all are officially recognized as a new gang of Doskvol. Wow, yeah, that was a good one. Doskvol, the Foxfires.
There's one part that's the Dungwall.
I don't feel like it's pluralized. It's just Foxfire.
Yeah.
The Foxfire?
Just Foxfire.
Just Foxfire.
We are Foxfire.
We are Foxfire.
You are gang Foxfire?
Yes.
Here comes Foxfire. We just got effed up by Foxfire.
The grammarist inside of me hates that for some reason, but it's y'all's gang, so you can do whatever you want.
Thanks, Sean.
Yeah.
But the plebeian civilians of Doskvol might not listen to that rule.
Oh, they're wrong.
They're about to be robbed. So.
Well, the gang Foxfire is on the prowl.
We beat up anybody who pronounces
within Nightmarket. Yeah, they're professionals, so they want you to treat them professionally, which means you have to pronounce their name correctly, or else they hate you.
We're protecting
the brand. It's all about the brand.
Get that marketing.
That marketing in Nightmarket. All right. So you let's see. So I think y'all had just finished up, kind of had a little bit of a celebration. Oh, and we didn't talk about how we got your tower, which we meant to do. Your base, your hidden base, the 7th tower that is in the Six Towers district. So I don't know, do we want to talk about that for a second maybe? how did we acquire a secret hidden base? Does anyone have an idea? I know, because let's see, our 2 gang upgrades are... No, not the gang upgrades.
Our lair upgrade.
Your lair upgrades are hidden and something else.
Boat.
And
Maybe when
boathouse.
we were rifling through
boat.
Sir Arthur's desk, we saw that there was kind of like a forgotten secret location.
Or maybe I used it as a hideout previously, and I was like, "Hey guys, we can hang out here. It's very hidden."
That
You
would make
are
sense.
the most stealthy.
Yeah.
That would make more sense.
And it's close to Duchess's old kind of manor, I think, which was in 6th Tower.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you needing a place to kind of convalesce and get together for all your dastardly deeds. Sylph has recommended a certain watchtower, a 7th tower, one might say, in the 6 Towers district that you guys have taken over and refurbished slightly. You know, it's not homely, but it's got like maybe a desk or something, you know, a tabletop, some chairs, a little bit of the basic needs that you'd want for any of your planning requirements. And I think we established that it is only accessible via like a certain pulley system. So you'll kind of have an advanced sort of... The stairs are decrepit and unreliable at best, if not completely fallen in. So there's sort of a hidden pulley system, and then it also is right on the edge of a canal, and it has a hidden sort of a canal entrance or a boat.
You can like fireman's escape onto the
that's cool.
Yeah, little... I imagine it's like the towers up, the waterways right beside it, and then you can go into like a little tunnel, and there's a sort of small, almost like pond, not pond, but reservoir
It's like a
area.
sewer grate, and you can like remove the grate and go on through.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Y'all know how to remove the grate, obviously, but not everyone does, or even realizes more is to it. Okay, so cool. So y'all have this hideaway that you can use for whatever you need, and also is where you store your excess cash in your safe, or whatever they call it.
Vault.
Stash?
Vault. I can never think of that word once I need it. And then we have our hunting grounds and Nightmarket. So you've just completed, which is currently owned by the Wraiths, and I think that's kind of where I want to jump in. You guys destroy the documents. We destroyed the documents from the previous one, like the Wraiths requested, and they paid you out, but this was all done kind of third party through Amancio, our contact. He's kind of the guy who orchestrated it all. And this time, though, you get a mysterious letter from the Wraiths directly, or at least, let's say, one shows up. Y'all maybe meet at the watchtower every now and then to talk about things or to see if there's any small little heists you can do. And one day you get over to there, and you find a note pinned to the door, kind of the watchtower. Sort of, the Wraiths have a little bit of akin, like a bead on where you guys are, and it says, "We appreciate the help in such a delicate situation, but we would like to meet once more, if you have time, in the Nightmarket on top of the Rat's Den Inn." Signed... Who's it signed by? Let's see. Signed by Slate.
Do we know him? Them?
Maybe you've heard whispers. He seems to be the person in charge of the Wraiths. Slate, people who talk about Slate talk about an important person.
Okay, well, I mean, that sounds like something we can't say no to.
Yeah.
I mean, you could, but I don't think you really want to. So, especially since they just were so gracious enough to offer up part of the night market to you. So, y'all kind of traipse back over to the night market, and it's bustling. But it's actually a little bit quieter than you would have thought. People seem a little bit more reserved than usual. Y'all have all been here before for various reasons, and it's kind of a hub of commerce as well as people looking to have fun. But it's just a tad quieter. Everyone's a little on edge. People are kind of moving quickly just to get to wherever their destination is. And eventually you make it to, what did I call that inn? I've already
Rat's
slept.
Den.
Rat's Den.
Rat's Den.
Rat's Den Inn. I need to write that down so I don't forget again. Rat's Den Inn. What a good name. And make your way over there. And kind of going inside, you see it's not the nicest place, but it could be worse for a place called Rat's Den. Having both sort of Echo and Sylph being used to the seedier parts of the city, it's fairly nice. Lower end for Nightmarket, but not the worst you've ever seen. The barkeep seems to have been expecting you though, and so he sees you, nods his head, and gestures to a stairwell in the back, which y'all take up and up and up, and sort of only 2 stories, but once you reach the top level, it opens out into a sort of small little rooftop area that just has a little bit of covering, some basic chairs, benches, and stuff. And you see one person standing there with his back to y'all, sort of hooded and cloaked, who then turns around and is wearing sort of an elaborate brass mask.
Aman.
I knew you were alive.
And kind of in the face of sort of a fanged demon.
Oh.
And he sees the 3 of you enter and says, "Ah, the Foxfire. Thank you again for such a delicate handling of the situation."
We have to kill him now. He said the.
At least I didn't pluralize it. I can't help it.
What did you
how
say?
Are you supposed to do that?
It's like,
Ah,
excuse me.
Foxfire.
Yeah,
I
that's
hate it.
not weird.
I hate it.
It's
I
not
hate it.
weird.
It's so weird, Sarah.
I'm the tiebreaker here.
You're already outvoted, Sean.
I am less persnickety about these things.
Here's the thing. I'm going to mess it up constantly.
That's fine. We just have to kill all those people.
Yeah.
Foxfire. I did.
You have to have a "the" in front of it.
No, you don't.
No.
Foxfire. It makes us seem like we're one entity.
We are.
We are. We're synchronized.
Okay.
We're like
fine.
Transformers, essentially.
Okay, it's not important. He turns around and says, "Ah, Foxfire, thank you for joining me. I
don't like it.
appreciate your help. I hate it. The Wraiths appreciate your help in this delicate situation. But we do have, I guess, a more broad opportunity for you, if you will. You can't really see the emotions on his face, of course, because it's hidden behind a mask. But you can tell, I mean, he seems very friendly and confident from his tone of voice and his relaxed sort of body language. And he says, "I don't know if you noticed, but Nightmarket has had a little bit of a mix-up lately, not including us. There are 2 gangs who have been prowling the streets and throwing their weight around a little too much, in our opinion. At first, it wasn't really a problem, but now that they've gone to war, it's become a problem for everyone. both the Sirens and the Foghounds have gotten a little too big for their britches. And it seems they've decided to turn Nightmarket into their battleground. Unfortunately, this is bad for business for everyone, as I'm sure you understand. So, I need you to stop this war somehow. I don't care how, I don't care what you do, but there's too much attention being drawn to Nightmarket. The Bluecoats have been patrolling more frequently. The citizenry have gotten more defensive and protective of all their belongings. And bloodshed on the streets is never good for business. So, take your pick. I don't care. Help them. Help both. Destroy one. Destroy both. Do what you will. But the Wraiths need them gone. And while I give you this information partially for your own benefit, since it will make your life more difficult too if there's a war going on in the background of your newly bequeathed hunting grounds, you're welcome. The race will also see fit to give you some compensation if you help take care of this for us. If you're not interested, we do have other jobs for you, should you be interested in avoiding such a conflict, though.
Sylph aggressively nudges Duchess.
What do you want me to do? I'm not the talker.
Echo is like, why can't you take care of this yourself? Why do you need an outside party? We need to know what we're getting into here. Why is this too big? We're a new small gang, and yes, we're professional, but this seems like an unusual thing to ask an outside group to do. Amon. Slate.
You know his name is Slate.
Is this actually Slate, though? Doubtful.
The mouth
That's
of
what
Slate.
he said his name was. You've never met him before, so you don't know. And he is wearing a mask. So Slate kind of cocks his head a little bit, looks at you, and his voice turns a little cold. He goes, "Yes, you are a small gang, so it would be best if you listen to your elders. But, just so you know, we are a little busy with something else at the moment, and that's all you need to know. We're asking for help, but you don't have to do it, of course. Like I said, there will be benefits if you do help us. I mean, beyond the simple fact that both the Sirens and the Foghounds are weakened from this war already, and I'm sure both of them are looking for more help. But like I said, I cannot force you to do anything. I'm simply providing an opportunity."
And you just want us to make sure there's a decisive winner in this conflict, or?
I need the war to end.
The war to end, okay.
The easiest way would be to make one a winner, probably.
Do you have a preference? Which one?
Not particularly. The Foghounds have traveled pretty far to get all the way to Nightmarket. And I've heard they've recently come by a new patron who has been giving them a lot of help. So they're outsiders, they're worth getting rid of. But the Sirens are pretty mysterious themselves. They haven't been aggressive, but I don't know as much about them as I do the Foghounds. The Foghounds are simple. They're smugglers. They want to get goods in and out of the city however possible. The Sirens have a little bit of more of a mysterious air to them, though they have been selling various goods, illicit goods, lately.
Well, if it's the winner you want, it's the winner we'll make.
Perfect. I'll leave you to figure the rest out. And he sort of just like jumps off the side of the building and disappears. Dramatic exit.
And I'm like, what?
Bam!
What's our price?
No contract for you.
Come back. Well, that was fun.
Yes. Well, girls, it seems we have another score to do. I don't know. I'm not too
Right.
fond of these foghounds coming
No.
into Nightmarket. But on the
Yeah,
other hand,
I'd like
this,
to learn about this patron they have.
yes,
yeah.
that
I'll give you. He gave you a little bit of the background. So, the Foghounds, you've heard tell of them. They're a gang. They were more established in the docks. They're known for being sailors and doing a lot of like aquatic sort of smuggling runs. And they're normally in the northern part of the city. But for whatever reason, they've extended down here to the sort of southeastern part. And like Slate said, they've acquired a new patron, it seems. And then the Sirens, you do know, they're a group that runs out of a bar and kind of music venue known as Muse. So the Sirens have a venue called Muse, and they have been around. They're fairly new. They're not. The Foghounds have probably been around longer, just in a different place. But they've also been really quiet and well received for a gang. You know, they haven't been ones to make a ruckus really. But no one kind of knows what they do besides the fact that they sell some goods from their location, their main location. So, I think you could either reach out to one of the gangs to see if they need help, or you could do some information gathering. You can just
Well,
decide who you want to work for or against.
and background on the Nightmarket's the only place that's connected by rail to the rest of the continent, right?
Yes, it's the main it's one of the closest areas to the railway system. So a lot of shipments come through Nightmarket.
okay.
Which is why it might be of interest to smugglers.
Well, I personally don't want to get involved in the war to such an extent that they know our presence is being felt. I'd rather just push it and nudge it and not make a new enemy in the process.
Agreed.
As of now, I have no preference between the two. The Foghounds, we know enough about them, but if they have a new patron, that might be a little harder to finagle. The Sirens, on the other hand, I know not much of, so
Could we cut off the Foghounds from their patron? Could they
that's an
fall out of
option.
favor?
We could. We would need to see how much harm that would inflict on them before we know if it's worth doing. But if he's entirely funding this expansion, then almost certainly that would hurt them.
Any thoughts, Sylph?
I think the Sirens sound like better allies to have in the long run.
If you'd like, you could set up meetings with, like I said, one or both of them, if you want to actually meet them. Or you could see if Amancio maybe has
Information.
a job
Yeah.
filtered through him. Because I haven't really given you a specific heist yet.
I can meet with the Foghounds if you and Echo want to go speak with the Sirens.
Sure.
Sure.
See what
The
they're
Sirens
about.
seem more our style.
Maybe put yourself as a representative of the Wraiths so they know who they're messing with, rather than us.
I think the
Wait,
Wraiths will like that.
Were we contingent on remaining secret, Sean, from the Wraiths? Like they didn't want to be involved?
No, they don't care. They
don't
just
care.
want.
They just
All they
want it
said
over.
is, we want the war in Nightmarket to end, however you see fit.
Okay.
I'd rather remain anonymous and then introduce ourselves to the victor rather than aiding with someone who eventually becomes the victor or aiding somebody who loses and now the victor doesn't like us.
Okay.
But to answer your question,
I can
Soph,
find some black robes.
we are technically representatives of the race now.
That's true.
So
That is true.
Within the letter of the agreement, I'd say we're not lying.
All right.
Can I?
Sounds good.
We need to change your gang thing to contractual.
Yeah, we do.
Instead of professional.
Literal, the letter of the law.
The literal letter of the law. Okay, so who wants to go first?
We can go first.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So, the two of you. Let's see. I think you
Do you
put out.
want to come in with me, Self, or do we want to good cop, bad cop this? Do you want to be lurking in the shadows?
Maybe don't be cops.
Yeah,
Well,
maybe not.
Personality wise.
Good gang member, bad gang member.
Good gang, bad gang.
I do think
yeah,
to find them, I know Telda, who is a beggar woman. So maybe she would have seen something. So we can put feelers out more directly instead of all over the place.
To find the muse.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Do you want to talk to Tilda then?
Yeah.
Echo? Okay. All right. So thinking back, you kind of are like, who's a contact I could use to maybe learn a little bit more about the Sirens or a better way to approach them, and you land on Tilda, who is definitely someone who's got an ear to the ground because she is a beggar who is always on the ground.
Yes.
So you kind of find her in her usual spot, laying there in rags, kind of supplicating to the people around her, begging for money.
I'll buy her like a nice sandwich from a little shop on the way, and
there's no such thing in Doskvol.
a shitty sandwich.
So you buy her some food, and this is. Do you think that's kind of your trade, maybe, for a little bit of information?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. So you go over to her and Tilda sees you, and she's an older woman who, once you get closer, you notice she's got a leg that's bent at a unorthodox angle, which is probably why she is a beggar. And she's kind of begging in this voice, and she's like, "Oh, money, please, anything. My leg, it's so injured, I can't work. Please, anything for help." And then when people like just completely ignore her, she curses under her breath, and she's like, "Oh, you fucking shitbag!" Like, curses. She's like curses like a sailor at them under her breath, and then kind of out of the corner of her eye, she sees you, and she kind of whips her head around and is like, "Oh, my friend, my pretty little friend, go." What? Do I smell something? What? What's that in your hand, dearie?
I got you this delicious portobello and eel sandwich.
You can see her eyes are like wide and focused on that, and she kind of snatches it and starts shoving it into her mouth. She's like, "Yes," kind of eating. And what can I help you with, dearie? Oh, this is good.
Like Telda. I am looking into maybe doing some work with the Sirens, and I thought
she
you might have
stops eating
heard
and
some
looks
stuff
at you,
about
and
them.
it's like, the Sirens, eh?
Do you not like them?
Well, I wouldn't say I don't like them so much. They're just when you're on the streets, you develop a feel for things, and they have an air about them that I don't like. But that's beside the point. You need to get to know them.
Sure.
Is that what
Yes. I'm hoping to get in touch with them one way or another.
Well, I mean, they work out of the Muse
Where is that?
location. Where? Oh, dearie, can you not read signs these days?
Oh, is it obvious?
Yes, it is. Like it's a public
Okay.
place. Yes.
Are
So
they obvious in the muse?
people, it's like a unkept secret, I guess.
Okay, sure.
Like everyone knows it's run by the Sirens, but it's not, for official purposes, it's not. So in regards to that, she kind of gives you this tip. Now, what I've heard is that if you ask to become a VIP member, one might say, of the Muse, a special patron of the arts, you get special access to the good stuff. So maybe that's a little way you can get to know some of them. But thanks again, dearie, for the sandwich.
Oh, yeah.
And then she's
one more question.
She was about to go start harassing someone again. Yes.
How do
It's
you
one
feel...
sandwich per question, but I'm in a good mood today.
I just want your gut reaction on the Foghounds.
The Foghounds.
Okay, great.
She spits on the ground and she's like,
"That'll do, Delta. Don't go burning all your bridges now."
Oh, I try not to, but I can't help it. This mouth has no filter these days. And she goes back to her daily work.
Yeah.
All right. Yes. So it's not hard to find the Muse. You could easily find it.
Cool.
There are signs. It's got like a fluorescent, or not. It's not fluorescent. It's electroplasmic, one might say, a Sparkcraft sign. That's very bright, and it depicts the Muse, and it's well known. It's well regarded for both music and drinks. But everyone also knows that there's more you can find at the Muse than just drinks and good music.
Yeah.
So
many amusements to be found.
So many amusements at the Muse. At Muse.
Okay. All right. And while this all has been happening, Echo is just sitting back, flipping her dagger idly, listening to this conversation.
Being menacing in the background.
Her nails. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So y'all make your way over to the bar, I'm assuming. Okay. You find it, like I said, you have noticed that Nightmarket does seem quieter, and there do seem to be more bluecoats than usual, kind of prowling about. So people are a little bit more reserved than usual. But but there's still people hawking their wares about, and signs for different restaurants, different shops, all sorts of stuff. It's still a respected and important place, but the atmosphere is definitely not as jovial as it used to be, one might say. So making your way over, you find it's a pretty unassuming front. It's actually partially not submerged, but below the ground level. So you can see there's a big sign for it, and then there's sort of a stairway that leads down to an entrance that's below floor level. And going down and in, you kind of enter. Are you going at like a late night, or what time of day are you planning on
Dusk?
stopping by? Like a typical
Duskish?
bar time, or
Yeah, early bar
Typical
time.
bar time.
Yeah.
Early bar time. Okay.
Because we're trying to get that VIP status.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so
But it's easier to get VIP if there's not high demand.
true. But you
We
never
don't
know
want
what
too
the
many
demand
witnesses.
is. Okay, so you kind of go in, and it's a thin crowd. It's a darkly lit, relatively spacious though sort of area. You can see there's sort of a nice bar lined up with lots of glasses and a lot of different exotic drinks all stacked up in the wall behind it. Pretty much anything you can imagine, from the lowbrow stuff to the highbrow stuff. So they cater to pretty much everyone. And you can also see there's a very large sort of stage area with a single microphone leading up, and there is a woman at the microphone who is currently sort of doing what she looks like she's practicing for a performance. And there's a couple patrons at tables close to the stage, as well as a couple at the bar itself. But other than that, it's not, like you said, you came a little bit before the rush, so it's not super crowded by any means. There's, of course, someone manning the bar, and there's the lady who seems to be practicing. You can kind of hear her voice lilting slowly through the room, as well as many patrons who could bother.
Echo sidles up to the bar and she gazes at all the bottles and she goes, eel's breath liquor. I haven't seen that since I was in the Dagger Islands. Give me a double.
All right. So the barkeep, she kind of looks over at you a little curiously and is like, eel's breath. Yes, you're right. You have a discerning eye, one might say. Not a lot of people know about it. From the Dagger Isles, you're correct. She pours you a pretty hefty dose of it too, and then maybe pours just a little bit for herself and winks at you and clinks it before throwing some back, and it's like,
yeah.
And it kind of even like a little bit of vapor comes out after you drink it.
Yeah, it looks slightly foggy, hence the eel's breath.
Right.
You can light it on fire too if you need.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it's commonly used for parlor tricks, but you can drink it too. She goes, always need a little fortification before we get ready for a night's run.
Yeah, I was starting to think you couldn't get anything good to drink in this joint. Everything is just mushroom cap wine and who knows what other bilge water there is here. Good to find the old eel's breath.
Well,
how did you guys come by such a lovely selection?
Oh, it's pretty much our job. We try to have the best selection you can find. Got to make your name somehow. Entertainment's only half of the business, so everyone's a little more willing to pay for more when they've had a little bit to drink. You never knew who will come through Doskvol. We get all kinds. I've got a special Ruvian blends if you're interested. Of course, they do cost a pretty penny, but I promise it's worth it.
I could do. She's like looking into her empty glass and is just like, yes, Aruvian blends. Well, I was never, I do have a taste for the finer things, even though I am, a simple gal myself. I'll have to keep those Aruvian blends in mind. What other choice activities do you guys offer besides the finer liquors? Say, and she like winks and like lingers on. Do tell.
The barkeep
for a discerning wallet, of course, and like kind of like chunks down like a hefty wallet.
Yeah, okay. I think she sort of kind of raises an eyebrow before giving you a once over and is like, well, I mean, for the discerning customer, we offer almost anything you can imagine. Did you want to see some of our special wares, maybe?
I do get so bored cooped up in this town, so anything that you can do to help amuse me really would be of help. So yes, I would like to take a glance. My companion here and I are both extremely interested.
Yes, I did notice you had a friend. as well. Doesn't say much and doesn't seem to drink much either. But let's.
She takes her amusements in other forms. Yet again with the wink.
Okay.
Just lather it on.
Lay it on. Lay it on.
Just lay it on.
Okay, so she. What does she do? She kind of calls over to the girl at the stage. She's like, Rain, hey, Rain. And then the woman stops practicing and she's like, come over here, watch the bar for a sec. I'm gonna take these two to some of our finer selections. And Rain sort of quickly nods, makes her way over to watch the bar. Meanwhile, the barkeep sort of comes out from behind the bar and has you follow her down a hallway into sort of a side room. And there you can see it's a very nice sort of den, almost I guess kind of hookah bar-esque in style. Like it's very relaxed, a lot of lounging couches, pillows, a lot of it's comfort, obviously, and it's got a lot of drapery and different sort of sheer cloth and curtains and stuff. And there are a couple people in here partaking in what look like a variety of drugs of all kinds. And she sort of says, she looks at you and she says, "Well, what can I do you for?"
What is your selection of Savorian trance powder?
Savorian trance powder. Well, it's been a little tough with some of the blockades lately, but we've been able to smuggle a few different varieties in. She kind of leads you over to one table, which has 3 different powders in different bowls, and she sort of explains the difference between them. But then she looks at y'all, and she's just like, I hate to be crass, but let's cut the crap. Do you really want this trance powder, or are you here to talk to someone else? I don't like it when people play dumb with me.
Darling, I would never play dumb with you.
And I'm assuming neither would your friend.
No, she just is dumb.
Oh, shots fired.
Rip.
Yes, I mean, of course, I always keep my eye out for people who can source several varieties of trance powder, but I would also like to speak to someone who is in charge, if they're available.
She sort of nods her head and says, I think we can arrange something.
Yes, you really should, since the Wraiths have sent me. It's not as much of a request.
Oh, so the Wraiths are involved. Well, this is a bit short notice, and they didn't tell us anything about it. But like I said, I think something can be arranged.
Excellent.
If you'll just wait here, and feel free to partake if you like. And she kind of leaves, and
Echo just like shoves the trance powder away. Well, she takes a little trance powder for her own personal use in gigs, and then is like,
yeah. And so everyone else is very involved in whatever vice they're sort of taking advantage of here in this room. So they don't really bother you, but it does take a little bit of time before eventually the barkeep comes back through a different door, and she says, all right. Well, just as a precaution, though, I will have to ask that you leave all your weapons with me if you're going straight to the top. which is what I'm assuming.
Echo takes out her dagger and flips it and catches it and is like, don't lose.
The barkeep
this."
is not impressed.
No, she's not impressed. She's tired of me, but that doesn't mean that I stop. Hands her the dagger.
I just raise
it.
my hands and like, I don't have anything.
That's what they all say. And then she just sort of beckons you to follow her. And this time she does take you down another hallway, sort of into a back room. And this one's much smaller. It's really just a table, a couple chairs. That's it. And once you enter the room, you see a figure sort of covered in multiple shrouds of cloth, of like translucent cloth. And this person is sort of, you can tell they're facing you, but it is completely indiscernible, sort of their body and their face. And the barkeep says, "This is the voice. I'm assuming you wanted to talk to the head of the Sirens, so here they are. What do you have to say?"
Lovely. Thank you so much for meeting with us. I know it was short notice, and your barkeep did have to put up with me for a while.
The barkeep snorts. Yeah.
But you know, when I have eel's breath liquor, I just get so nostalgic. I chat on forever. Anyway. Anyway, you don't need to know about that. We're here to talk to you about your little scuffle that you've been having with the Foghounds. And, you know, the Wraiths have sent us because they're just concerned that this encounter is becoming bad for business. And so we wanted to check in on your side of things and just learn what's taking so long and why you're driving business down.
The voice, you can tell that the voice was listening. Like the figure kind of you can tell there's someone underneath all of that kind of light, almost like ethereal shrouding. And the barkeep sort of is almost talking for them though, and is like, "This scuffle, as you put it, isn't really any of your concern, I don't think. And while we appreciate that the Wraiths are checking in, we do our own business with them. So I don't know who you are, but I do know you're not an actual Wraith, because then you would be wearing a mask, like they literally all do." And she's basically telling you off, and suddenly sort of the voice cuts in and says, in a very like, the sound is,
Are they a ghost?
the sound is like,
I don't know,
not...
Sylph, you tell me.
Let me just attune real quick.
The sound is sort of like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's not strong, but there is no way you would not hear it. Like, it's
Sure,
almost like
yeah.
it's directly entering your consciousness.
So
She's
it sounds
not...
like they're mentally speaking to me
It
almost.
feels the clarity is as if they were, but you know they are not. You can
Okay.
tell that air, like they are it's traveling through the
Through
physical
the
plane.
waves.
But it does have an
Fun trick.
extremely odd and unsettling quality to it. And the voice kind of cuts her off, and she says, "Enough. Even if they are not actually from the Wraiths, we do need a little bit of help with the Foghounds. They've been a thorn in our side for far too long. And as I'm sure you're aware, they're a bunch of outsiders who have no place in the Nightmarket. We've recently heard that they have a new shipment coming in from the railway. If you could intercept this somehow, and perhaps replace it with some of our own makings that, let's just say, aren't quite to the quality the Foghounds are used to, then maybe there would be some compensation in store for you.
Hmm. Echo takes a while to respond, just kind of like
The barkeep is
letting
very grumpy, but is not
the
saying anything anymore.
letting the barkeep be like enjoying just
And
being
the
kind
voice,
of annoying.
the figure is completely undisturbed by
Yeah.
this.
Yeah,
by
just kind of like testing how that okay. So the voice is undisturbed, barkeep is grumpy. What else is new? And Echo says, well, that's certainly a very interesting proposition. As you are the voice, you certainly understand that I would have to check in with the rest of my crew before making a decision. But I will say that this is very compelling. And we know the Foghounds don't belong in the night market. And we are going to be around for a while anyway. So we're trying to keep an eye out for local businesses. So how exactly would we be receiving recompense from the Sirens? We will need to know a little bit more detail before I can tell my companions.
Let's see. The wraith, or not the wraith, sorry. The voice. The voice says, I don't worry about the small things. There will be coin in it for you, of course. And the rest of the Sirens will help set up sort of the switching of goods, so to speak. But we have no quarrel with the Wraiths or Foxfire, so we would be glad to form an alliance with you in dealing with these interlopers. If you accept, I've heard that Foxfire is very interested in contracts, so I can have
We're
someone
extremely
draft one up for you, though I expect our word should be enough for now.
Of course it is. Voice, I would know never to mistrust someone so blatantly trustworthy. But yes, we do care for contracts. And if you could come up with an arrangement and deliver it to this address, and she like pulls out like sleight of hand card and hands it to the barkeep, who just hates it even more. We will get our reply to you in due time. And she like bows.
Yeah, the voice kind of nods and says farewell. And the barkeep sort of ushers you out.
Perfect. And then I like I look over at Sylph and I'm like, that's our secret handshake. It's our secret signal. You did good.
Signal.
You good? I'm good. Okay. And we exit and head back to the tower.
Sure.
That's what I'll say.
Okay. So, Duchess.
I want to catch Duchess before she goes if I can.
Do you think
Or did
you
we just
would?
split immediately?
I don't know. That's up to y'all. It sounded like you split immediately.
That's what I thought, but if it's important, you can tell me.
No, it's fine.
You can like run across
Yeah.
the roofs.
I just wanted to
of
tell you that
Nightmarket.
you should probably wear a mask, but it's fine.
Oh, no. I don't wear masks.
Okay.
You can't
I don't
hide this beauty.
masks.
That'd be a crime I'm unwilling to commit.
Okay.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Okay, so Duchess thinks, and she has a shrewd friend, Salia, an information broker. Maybe she can tell me where to find one of these foggy boys.
These foggy boys. Okay, Salia, the information broker.
Who may or may not be a ghost. We're unsure.
Who may or may not be a ghost.
It's definitely
So many people of questionable ghostly
Yes.
presence.
Yes.
Okay. Where does Salia kind of reside, I guess?
Well,
do
Salia
you
the
think?
ghost haunts a tower in 6 towers. Salia the information broker, I'm not sure.
All right. Let's see. Are they the same person or not?
I don't know.
You know
You
what?
hadn't decided this.
I had, but I'm gonna switch directions. Salia the ghost is the information broker.
Okay, perfect.
So she sort of haunts 6 towers and also through ghostly means acquires much information. She is the Ghost Gossip Network, actually. She's the
Okay.
GGN.
Okay.
And with her ear to the ghostly field.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you know Salia? How have you met her?
She operates a GGN and I operate a HGN. So
HGN?
Human Gossip Network. So we
okay.
tend to overlap. We don't really like each other, but we work with each other.
You've gossiped together before.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes she comes to me. Sometimes I come to her.
Mm.
But neither of us really like interacting with the other.
So you know where she kind of her regular haunts, one might say.
Yeah.
And you find her prowling, kind of just wandering the streets aimlessly. And it looks, I mean, she is ghostly, so she's ethereal and sort of got this pale electroplasmic electric blue to her. But she also seems to be just talking to like thin air. Compared to like there's no people to be talking to, there's nothing, which I guess isn't too unusual for a ghost because they often go crazy. But for Salia, you can tell this is her sort of talking and learning information. So you make your way over to her, and she I
find her and I say, Salia, you old banshee, I have need of your service.
She sort of slowly, she kind of like looks over her shoulder and slowly turns, and she says, "Oh, Madame Araignée, you're still stuck in this mortal coil. Those poor souls you have to see."
Yes, well, some of us rather enjoy mortal forms like I do until I have to wander over to you, and then I'm cursed that I can't just die on the spot, but...
Yes,
anyway.
And much as I wish, you still find your way back to me. What can I do for you?
It's not what can you do for me, it's what could you do for me quicker than most other people could, because I'm sure you weaseled your ghostly little ear into places it should not be. I need to find the Foghorns, and I need to find them fast.
Foghounds.
I need to find... No, the foghorn, don't you see? I'm going to alarm the Foghounds with a giant horn. Don't correct me, Sully. No. The Foghounds. I'm trying to find them as quickly as possible.
She sort of like is gliding around you in a circle, completely not caring. Like,
I'm like
up,
looking forward. I'm not even
going
following
down,
her.
sort of like phasing through objects. She's almost like trailing her arm sort of around your space, like trying to unnerve you to some extent. She knows it doesn't really affect you, but it's just an amusing. You know,
Oh,
when
shit.
you're a ghost, there's only so much amusement you can get.
She
in the
knows
world.
I hate it, but I don't give on.
But you never respond. But
Correct.
so it's just like sort of a tense little battle every
It's
time.
like I'm not touching you, but between
right.
between an
And
adult
then,
and a ghost.
right when you said foghorn, she kind of like zoomed into your face and was like, "Foghounds, dearie," and then sort of zoomed back out.
I hate her.
Before going around again, and as she's going around, she thinks and she sort of taps her chin and goes, Foghounds, yes. And it does ring a bell, of course. Now you'll have to owe me one, my dear. And
How
you
about
know
I
how.
don't have the spirit wardens banish your wretched soul out of this plane?
She laughs. She says, "Oh, you know I'm far too useful for that. There's no way I'd have stayed around this long if some spirit wardens could get rid of me. But it
You
was a
are
good
a
threat.
pest.
I'll give you that."
Let's see. I have recently come across some information on one of these little forgotten deities that's running around me. One of their recruits has started working with me, I think. That might be of interest to you.
An ancient one? That is of interest. Well, keep your ear out for me then, won't you?
Oh, I plan
And
to. Not for you, but for myself.
of course, we all know it's always for you. And then she sort of stops, and this time just stands in front of you, looks at you, and she says, "The Foghounds have recently acquired a new patron, Lord Penderton, who has been supplying them with the funds and the interest that they need to keep smuggling in a new area. If you want to find them, you could go through him or you could go directly to them. They have a small little meeting spot, one might say, at an abandoned tavern in Nightmarket called the Ghost's Whale.
Ah, how fitting.
It's how I know about it. And find them there or go to their patron. Doesn't matter to me. Good night, dear. Don't forget, I want to hear about your new recruit sometime." And she sort of, this time she like zooms through you before dissipating, leaving you with a little bit of a chill.
I detest the arcane. Anyway, I think I will head on over to Lord Penderton. Yes.
Yes, Lord Penderton.
Do I know? Does that name ring a bell to me?
It actually does not particularly. Actually, I guess roll a fate real quick. We've done a lot of talking and no rolling.
Like a fortune roll?
Yeah, just like a fortune roll. Sorry, that's what I meant.
What the roll? Oh, jeez. Oh. How many die? 1, 0, 1,
Just do one, yeah.
5.
All right, yeah. So you have heard of him, just in passing. He is sort of an up and coming member of the nouveau rich of Nightmarket, and he's known for throwing really lavish parties that everyone enjoys attending. So he's kind of the party animal with a lot of money at the moment. And he has a nice sort of manor house in Nightmarket. So you could find him there probably, or you could request an audience with him, or
I want to instead, and this might be a roll, I just want to like find one of his servants and sort of bribe them to spy on him for me for like 3 days or so, and then get back to me on any suspicious meetings he takes or anything, really.
Um, are you just trying to find out if he's talking to the Foghounds?
Not
What?
I know he's already talking to the
Right.
Foghounds. I just want to know if he's meeting with anybody else. Like, it becomes clear what type of things he's dealing with, or like
Hmm.
what type of supply he's moving, or anything.
I won't make you roll for that. Do you just want
Okay.
to maybe? We'll just say you kind of start to look into him a little more closely.
Yes, I don't
Um,
want to meet him right now.
not yet, at least, I guess. Uh, it's not hard through your HGN, Human Gossip Network. You are able to discern pretty quickly that he is also a purveyor of illegal goods, but he's known for sort of making them part of his parties. So people go to the parties, they can then partake in the drugs, and they're often mixed into drinks or food. So, and they're milder doses, so they're more manageable, but people have to do more. It's sort of a different sort of high kind of effect for the rich who don't want to go crazy.
Yeah.
So he needs a constant supply because he's constantly doing parties. And if you know what to ask for, you can get sort of the fun stuff, or you can stay with just the regular things.
Okay. Knowing that, I think I'll go to this Ghost's Whale Tavern and try and meet with the Foghorn Hounds themselves.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Do you just want to go? They're not necessarily there all the time. Do you just want to kind of stake it out for a little bit, or just go inside and wait,
Yeah, because
or?
I don't have a home to go home to, so
Okay. So do you just want to wait inside until someone
yeah.
comes by? Okay. I just imagine you at the bar, like quietly sipping your whiskey for like 5 hours or something.
Yeah.
Very refined, bored out of your mind, but enjoying the whiskey that you brought from home. Um, and kind of going in, you can see, yeah, it's long abandoned. A lot of smashed chairs, smashed tables, dust everywhere.
Oh, I forgot it's not a real
Rats. Yeah,
Okay,
no,
so I'm
it's
just sitting in an abandoned tavern. Yes, okay.
yes, that's part of the greatness of this image.
Yeah, I forgot
Yes,
that was
it's
abandoned.
abandoned, and you are this like one shining gem, sort of, in this utter ruin.
Okay.
And then suddenly you hear a bit of like shouting and noise from the outside, and suddenly someone like kicks in the door and is like, I told you we needed to go there last night, not this morning. And in walk 3 people who suddenly take notice of you.
Well,
And
boys, it is a pleasure to see you here.
one is
You
a
might,
girl.
you might want to hold your tongue before you give any secrets away.
All 3 of them clam up real fast, and then one of them suddenly looks really angry, and he's a big guy, like
Yeah.
big. You can tell he's someone who is like 6 foot at least, 250 pounds or something. Like he could break you like a twig, basically. He gets really angry and he starts going up to you and he's like, "What are you doing here? How did you know about this?" And he starts getting really close to your face.
My, you are quite the specimen. I sort of look past him and say, you might calm him down before you destroy a representative of the race. I'm sure they would not like that one bit.
The lady, who is fairly well dressed in sailor's garb, sort of like an admiral's garb, almost like a knockoff admiral's garb, with a large saber at her hip and a tricorn hat, of course. Sort of cocks her head, doesn't say anything, and just stares at you, like does without a care in the world. And then the third one, who is sort of a smaller, thin man, he is like, "Oh, bear, knock it off! Come on, give them a second, especially if she's right and they're from the race. We can't afford angering them anymore.
No, I've heard you have already quite the tussle going on. It would be such a shame if you got involved in another. One, I'm sure, would be much shorter, as you would be crushed under the heel of the race. Anyway, to discuss your current predicament is actually why I'm here. I, speaking for the race, have an interest in your little tussle going on, and I'm not too fond of the Sirens myself. So I've been trying to, how do I say, have this conflict come to a close rather quick. I know that you all have recently established yourself in Nightmarket through a certain Lord Penderton, but that is not of interest to me. What is of interest is some weakness the Sirens have that you wouldn't mind seeing taken out, such that you could wrap this up quick and bloodlessly.
The big guy bear is still kind of like, he's pulled back a little bit, but he still looks really angry and is kind of like, who told you all that crap? We don't need help from anyone. And who are you, an outsider as well? I've never seen your face around here before. And the smaller man is like, well, I'm sure we would eventually take care of the Sirens ourselves. A little help would speed things along. And he's sort of looking towards the woman who has not said a single thing the entire time. Yes?
I was just going to make a snide remark at her expense.
Okay, of course. So she sort of looks at the small man again, and he's like kind of giving her like a nod, like, yes, come on. And she walks over to you, and her face, she's beautiful. I mean, she's beautiful. You can tell though that she's done a lot of hard work, and she has some scars and like nicks and a broken nose. But with all that, you can still tell she has a sort of like cold beauty to her. She walks close to you and she says, without a hint of emotion, she's like, if you ever sneak up on us again, I will gut you like the fish you are.
Dearie, you snuck up on me.
Do not talk while I'm talking. That is the first rule. Now, I will accept your help, but you will follow our orders exactly. Is that clear?
I don't speak.
Good. You learn quickly. Now, if you wish to help us, I have an easy assignment for you to get started with. The Sirens are a thorn in our side, and they're having a special event for their most valued customers. Ruin it. Make them look like fools in front of their buyers. I don't care how, I don't care what you do. Make the Sirens look like idiots, and that will be the first step to undermining them. And it'll show that you're competent enough to do the rest of what we need you to do. And then she sort of like snaps her fingers and walks out with the two men in tow.
Okay, well.
I like the Sirens better. They're nicer.
Oh, yeah, this lady needs to go.
I love her. I love the Sirens too, though, so.
Well, with that, I will finish the shot of whiskey I've been nursing for 5 hours.
It's probably more than one.
Dust myself off and head back to the 7th tower.
All right. I think we'll take a quick break, and then we'll hopefully start diving into some heist stuff. That was a lot of talking. I was not expecting it, but it's good.
I think we had fun.
Yeah, it was fun. So, good. All right. Thanks, y'all. We'll see you in a little bit.
And we're back.
We're back. Thanks for staying with us. And welcome if you weren't here at the beginning. I believe our players have they just finished information gathering on the two major forces sort of at work in Nightmarket, the Foghounds and the Sirens. And now they get to decide who they're going to sort of throw their weight behind as we figure out who will win the war of Nightmarket.
I think the choice is obvious, Sean.
Yeah,
No
I imagine we just
contest.
meet up at the 7th tower.
Yeah.
In the
Yeah.
tower.
Okay.
Whatever y'all see fit. You don't have to meet there. You can meet somewhere else.
It's our base. We have to start meeting there.
Okay, whatever.
It has to be a thing.
It has
So
to be
I
a thing.
shoot up the pulleys, land.
Assassin's
We're
Creed Part
already
2.
there.
We
Yeah, we're
dive
already there.
out of the haystacks and then you go up using those
Female
pulley
Assassin's
things you
Creed.
can cut.
So, what did we learn of the Sirens?
They are very awesome.
Oh,
Sylph,
How so?
seal of approval.
And with that, we nod. Yes, we have learned that the Sirens are willing to work with us if we swap out shipments with the we swap out one of the Foghounds shipments for something of lower quality, and
would this
thus
be at Lord Penderton's parties?
Penderton.
Presume Penderton.
this it sounded as though it would be before Lord Penderton. It would be kind of like at the rail, pre-arrival at his manor.
You can
and
do it
they-
any time.
Yeah.
Whenever y'all see fit. The goal is just to swap the contents of one of their shipments.
For lower quality goods,
Mhm.
Yes.
thus ruining the Foghorn. Now I'm doing it. Foghounds, the Foghounds, and Lord Penderton's reputation. And they said they would send us a contract specifying the details, but they would be willing to ally with us in the neighborhood and as well as aid us in the heist itself.
Any note of their nature?
They are definitely uncanny, but the voice we could not see.
The voice.
The
Do
voice.
tell.
Yes, it was really strange, but it was a figure all cloaked in several veils, who spoke as if mind to mind, but it was apparently some parlor trick. But it had a very, like I said, an uncanny air about them. The voice seemed willing to work with us, while some of the other representatives were not so eager. I would say uncanny, but I actually trust. I find them pretty trustworthy, and like I look over at Sylph, and I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
seemed as much as we can be. They knew of us, and seemed to respect our love of contracts. And weren't eager to upset the wraiths, so they seemed interested in collaborating. How was your work with the Foghounds?
Well, to say I don't trust them would be an understatement. They're led by this awful pirate bitch woman, and she's just not at all someone you want to deal with on any capacity. They wanted much the same, just ruin the reputation of the Sirens at some gala they're having. I guess just go in and muck up the whole affair so that they have a black stain on their record. Not anything too exciting, but nothing outside of our capacity. So.
And what of their patron?
Oh, Lord Penderton.
Penderton.
Penderton. He's one of those nouveau riche people. Throws lavish parties, puts his drugs in the hors d'oeuvres so that you can go and have a leisurely time without the blue coats batting an eye. Nothing too new, but apparently he does it well. and he gets his supply from the Foghounds.
We can just tarnish their name as we.
Y'all will just ruin their name so much by saying it wrong that
they
no one
lose
will.
all
They'll never be able to
credibility.
recover.
Those foghorns.
Those Foghorns.
You're not a hound, you're a horn.
Well, I mean, the choice seems clear on which side we should choose in this little scuffle.
Yes.
So,
I would certainly vote for supporting the Sirens.
oh,
Same.
the Sirens. I was going to say the Foghounds.
Horns.
Really?
Hounds. Oh, of course. I'd much rather work with somebody who I cannot trust, and that way I can't be betrayed by them. These Sirens seem like a clever ruse of some sort, and I want.
If you can't trust somebody, aren't they going to betray you faster?
No, because we both equally distrust each other, so we would never put enough faith in each other to be betrayed in the first place.
Well, who is more useful for us?
You could try and play both sides, but there would be consequences, and it might be difficult.
I'm just saying, if I had to choose who would win the war, I would choose the Foghounds, because I can deal with them any day. They're regular people, and that pirate lady's a dime a dozen. I know how to deal with her type. But these Sirens, I don't like the sound of the voice character.
Division in the ranks.
Division!
Well,
as long as I get the eel's breath liquor one way or the other, I'm fine. Sylph, what do you think? What did Mother, what's her name? Treda.
She did not like the Foghounds more than she did not like the Sirens.
Well, the Foghounds are not a pleasant bunch.
Then why would we ally ourselves with them? They're overly aggressive.
We're not allying with them. We're letting them win their little war, but they'd be in a weaker place once they
could
survive.
become allies with
we
either.
could become allies, but I don't want to become allies with either bunch, I'd imagine.
Why not have allies that have their fingers in different pies than us?
Well, they both have their fingers in different pies.
But the Foghounds have spread themselves thin. They're taking over other land.
Yes, so they would have less friends. So it would be easier to get rid of them in the future, I'd imagine.
Or they solidify their hold and get more powerful, and we could nip that in the bud, because they are moving into our territory.
Well, either way, I've voiced my concerns, but it doesn't matter much to me.
I say we flip a coin and roll a fortune.
Oh, jeez.
Then no one will be happy. Let's see. I'm trying to think if there's anything I can add to help decide.
I mean, Logan wants to work with the Sirens.
Yeah.
Duchess does not.
I mean, we could do this railway shipment, replace the sabotaged goods, see how that goes, and if it goes poorly, then we can just switch over to the other. Have a backup plan.
Oh, yes. A contingency.
Yes.
Okay, so Echo, would Lord Penderton have any knowledge of, like, the nobility?
I don't think he's a lord. I think he's a new...
He's kind of a fake lord.
He's a fake
He goes by the title Lord Penderton because he has a lot of money.
But he's not...
But is he actually nobility? Maybe he's... I don't know. You don't really know.
Do nobility come to his parties?
Yeah, I mean, the well-to-do do. I mean, maybe every now and then a noble does. Not any of the huge noble houses, probably.
Okay.
But
so less interesting to me.
Lesser nobles do, maybe. Yeah, let's see. I don't just want to give y'all information on them. Is the only thing. I think you'll have to pick someone, work for them, and see if you like them. Choose your side. That's our
Am I the
motto.
tiebreaker here?
I mean, we should work with the Sirens because the players all agree on that, but the characters don't.
Duchess, this is just a perfect opportunity for you to suss out a boss in your neighborhood. If we work for them this time, you will have inside knowledge of how to work them better.
That is
Better
true.
to know the ground, like this is like a recon
Keep your enemies
job.
close.
Yeah, keep your enemies close. Otherwise, they're just going to be an unknown factor in your territory. We might as well, keep them close early on and decide later if we want to keep them.
I guess that makes sense at some level.
Do we ever get a contract from them?
An arrow whistles in.
Yeah, we can say you have received a contract by now because I think Logan took a little bit longer in terms of timing for his information gathering. Yeah, so you got a contract from them. It's pretty basic. It just says I think it's I'm trying to think. I mean, you wouldn't really want written evidence of your illegal activities. I think it's something pretty vague. It's sort of like for the rendering of services to Muse, the owners of Muse, the amount of 8 coin, whatever that actually is, will be distributed to the workers, and further jobs will be available on request.
Yeah. But it's well written.
Signed, and signed Rain.
I love Rain. I want to get with that.
Is that the bartender?
No, Rain was the singer. So does it look professional? Yeah, I mean, it looks fairly professional. They probably don't have a lawyer on retainer, but
Do we
or a
want to work with
contract
them
writer.
then? Probably.
Yes.
Okay, let's go with the Sirens. All right.
I say we burn the contract, return the ashes, and that's how they know that we've accepted.
All contracts are burned, rendering them useless, but ingrained in our mind.
Yeah.
However that works. How about they're burned after they're completed?
Fine.
Okay. So then your mission is, so now we're kind of in heist mode.
Yeah, we need to choose a
extent.
plan.
You should probably choose a plan, or well, you can gather information first. Really, is what you're supposed to do.
Oh, is that not what we were just doing?
I mean, you were, but you don't have you haven't tried to gather specific information about this plan, and I haven't really made you roll anything for all that. All that other stuff was really just talking. I could have done rolls, but it didn't feel right to me for whatever reason. So the goal of this heist is find the Foghounds' next shipment and replace its goods with goods that will be supplied to you by the Sirens.
Is this like a sabotage then?
Or deception?
The way you go about it could be anything. So, I mean, I would maybe gather information first before you decide
how we want to do it.
You're not really destroying anything. I guess, I mean, sabotage is closer, but it's... I wouldn't worry about operation type too much.
I want that crew XP, Sean.
It's probably not going to fall in it this time, I'm sorry. Unless you can make it
Stealth.
one.
Unless we can make it espionage.
It could be... I mean, you can make it a robbery, theft by force or threat. Or a burglary, theft by breaking and entering, depending on where you do it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're not really stealing it, right? Are we like
Replacing?
lacing it?
I mean, you're
or-
stealing the good stuff and you're replacing it with bad stuff.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, lacing it, I guess, depending on how you want to look at it.
Yeah, I thought we were doing a swap.
Yeah, I was imagining more of a swap, but, you know, you could talk... I'm sure the Sirens don't really care in the end. Though they also sell goods, so they would prefer to get, you know,
The good stuff,
instead of
yeah.
just destroying, they would prefer to get something out of it too. I mean, I could consider this sabotage potentially, even though we're not destroying anything. You're theoretically destroying it, I guess.
Yeah, we're destroying the quality.
Yes, the quality. You are hurting an opponent. Okay. Anyways, so what sort of downtime activities would y'all like, or not downtime? I always say that. What sort of information gathering activities would y'all like to do to try
So
it?
the Sirens said that the shipment came in from the rails, right?
Yes, it's coming from the rail.
Um, mm, I need a moment to think about that.
I think I'd like to go ahead with that one thing I talked about earlier of like finding one of the servants, and seeing like I'm sure his parties are pretty public, so I can track how frequently those happen. But I want to know how like far in advance he plans them. Like, does he get shipments of these goods every party, or does he have like a supply?
Yeah. That's a good question. Okay, so let's see.
And I don't currently know one of his servants, so I think I'd have to like consort to find one. And
I
get
think
this
you would have to
information.
consort to find information from a servant specifically. That either consort or, I mean, you could maybe sway.
I'll consort, and I guess the concrete, I want to know, like, where and when the Foghounds deliver the goods to Lord Penderton.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. Will you roll for me?
Yes, what's my position? Do
Oh.
I even...
I don't think it really matters for the information gathering. I would
Okay.
say risky standard.
3.
Strong start.
Strong start.
All right. So, not great. Let's see. Let's see. I think you try and find like a servant who's sort of off work, and has maybe, I don't know. Do you think you would find them at a bar, or how would you try and get access to a servant? Do you think?
Probably through one of my other servants. Or like another contact of mine.
Yeah, so
Going
you'd
and
use
finding
someone
them.
else to kind of get to them again. Yeah, I think you try to do this. You convince kind of your contact to try and get in contact with this other servant, and he has trouble getting any information out of them. The servants actually like Lord Penderton pretty
Ugh.
well. He
Gross.
has a lot of money to throw around, so he actually treats them pretty good as long as they do a good job on his parties, which they make sure to because they know it'll keep him happy. So you don't you're not able to get much out of him. You do know his parties happen every week now. They used to be a little more sporadic, but now they seem to be happening every week, same time, same place. And they're big parties. So like it's a lot. There's a lot of stuff that gets used up. So you would guess that he's probably getting a shipment of at least something once a week.
Okay.
That is what I will give you for that. All right. Anyone else?
Okay. I would like to go to the rail station. And my goal is to find out when the shipments arrive, and like where they arrive at the rail station, like that whole process of like how the cargo is transported and when it arrives. And I think I'm going to impersonate an irate, wealthy, well-to-do kind of trader, and be like, where are my goods? My delivery has been messed up like 10 times, or like so many times, it should have been here, blah blah blah, and just like belligerently kind of like bullying the poor person in charge of like luggage and shipments, in the hopes of kind of like getting them to lead me through like into the cargo hold, or to like maybe see a list of when shipments get in and out.
Okay.
All under the guise of me being like, I have this claims form and no but where are my goods, and I'm waiting on my Illuvian wine.
Yeah, I think you start sort of hammering away at one of the poor workers here, and
do you know who I am?
They're sort of mollified, and he's kind of like, I mean, we're supposed to get, we get shipments once a day, and I'm not sure.
This would have been the large shipment, lad. Not anybody else's mushroom caps. Where could these boxes go?
You'll either need to sway or command to get more.
I'm gonna say
to see if you can get more
sway.
information out of them.
And the sway is kind of like, the kind of compulsion there is like, I could be like, I'm not gonna tell, like I won't make a bigger fuss if if you just help a lady out.
Right. Okay, so roll for that.
We said position and effect don't matter.
They not really.
Okay.
No. It's technically considered
Ew.
an action or a fortune roll. Wow, okay, a 6. You scare the crap out of this poor young rail worker boy.
Such a shrew.
And he goes crazy to appease you for some reason. They're actually, what happened, they're like really busy at the moment. So a shipment had just come in. They're like unpacking. You find this one younger gentleman who seems to be like managing the unpacking and stuff, but everyone else is really busy. So you kind of like, you were able to single him out so he can't get any backup from anyone else because they're also busy doing stuff. So he gets quickly overwhelmed. He's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, ma'am. I'll do anything I can to help you find it. I'm sure we understand how important everything is, and we promise every good that goes on those trains gets where they're supposed to go no matter what. So let me try and help you find all this stuff. And so he kind of goes through the full list of everything. I think he shows you around the train compartments, like he shows you some of the major cargo holds where you could find stuff.
And I'm like, no, it wouldn't have been there. What about here?
Right. Yeah. You basically just
Show me
put him through the
this!
ringer and waste his whole time. And you get a pretty detailed accounting of the storage areas, both on the train, some places where they unload, and also I think he says something like, he says, I don't know where it is, ma'am. Like, I'm so sorry. And he's like, but there is another shipment coming. We've got sort of an emergency midnight shipping happening in 3 days' time. Maybe it's on that. There was a mix-up in one of the other cities. That's maybe my best answer. If you could try again in 3 days.
Okay, and how do I know it's not going to be stolen right out from under me?
Oh, ma'am, we have...
What kind of security is there? This Alluvian wine is so
you can see there's blue coats everywhere. I mean, not everywhere, but there is blue coat patrols and stuff, so there's no there is a fairly like heavy guard. Things are locked, doors are locked. He tells you about how they use advanced lock systems, some of the finest Sparkcraft stuff, and the rail jacks that help protect the shipments from ghosts and raiders and stuff. They are the best at what they do, blah, blah, blah. He gives you the spiel.
All right, then.
Okay.
Leon.
It
better be on there.
Rail worker.
Cool. I'm done.
I want to go hang out with Rosalind Kellis, the noble.
Rosalind Kellis, is that your friend?
Yes. She's my special friend.
It is your special friend, if I remember correctly. Your special friend. Did we decide if she is a special friend?
No, she's definitely a special friend.
She's definitely a special friend.
Yeah.
Okay. Could you give me a little bit about her, maybe? Like, what do you think? She's also from
Tycheros.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is her demonic tell?
I don't
know. Let's see. Do you think it could be eyes, it could be fangs, it could be, some of them have like tails, like a devil's tail. Or do you think maybe it's not as obvious because
I think it's not as obvious.
Gets along kind of with the nobility of Doskvol,
Yeah.
so they'd be unnerved if it was something crazy. Okay, maybe we don't.
Maybe she has like weird feet or something. I don't know.
Well, don't bring
worse.
it up.
That's worse.
Like clawed.
Webbed feet.
Whoa, webbed feet? That's gross.
You really love this girl, don't you?
How about this? It's her hair, actually. Her hair is like iridescent and changes colors.
Oh, okay, so it's like a pretty one.
Constantly float in a sort of like
that's cool.
Unfelt wind, like it's constantly just flowing ever so slightly. Yeah.
How did she luck out with that?
Yeah, that's acceptable, but
that's why she's a noble who's in good with the Doskvol nobility as well, because she is and sort of enraptures people with her beauty, as well as the novelty kind of her sort of visage.
Yeah.
Okay, and what do you want to get out of this session, this information gathering?
I want to see if she has been invited to any of these parties, or if she's been to one or knows people who have been to them and have like heard anything. Or if she knows Penderton.
Yeah, okay. So I think you go over, where do you normally find her? Did you just go to her house,
Yeah.
like where she stays?
Yeah.
A casual call, or do you like slip in through a window or something?
Definitely through a window.
She's just used to it.
There's like a balcony and yeah.
Yeah. She finds you, you knock on her sort of her door, her balcony door. And she sort of, and y'all have known each other for a long time, right?
Yeah.
Since you were children.
Yeah.
So she sort of wanders over to the door, sees it's you, is not surprised, like heaves a sigh and kind of rolls her eyes, and opens the door, and she says, "Well, this is a late call, my dear. You didn't tell me you were stopping by. But I mean, I always have time for you."
What's her name? Rosalind.
Yes,
Rosalind.
You don't even remember her name, but she always has time for
But
you.
she's your special friend.
No, I was just looking.
Helena.
Yeah, she does know my name though.
Yes, she does.
Like, Rosalind, I never tell you I'm coming. You like surprises like this.
Ugh, you do know I do like surprises. Though, it's not very surprising when it's you these days. I just want you to know that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe I'll come less frequently. Would that
You need
make
to
you
spice
happy?
things up a little bit. I know you have ways to wow me.
I'll do
She
my
kind
best.
of leans in like a little close.
Yeah,
She
yeah,
thinks
yeah,
this
yeah,
is
yeah.
like a fun call. Like, she does not think this is business.
Why can't
yet.
it be both?
I mean, it can be. Do you want it to be?
Yeah.
Tell me how you play it out then.
Sean.
I'm in this fiction. Get in this fiction with me.
I'll just like keep her wanting more a little bit. Like she leans in and I'll just like
kind of drift out of range.
Yeah, tease her a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, so she kind of like follows you around. Y'all make some casual conversation, ask how she's doing. She wants to see how you're doing. And I think, do you tell her about like some of the trouble you get up to?
Yeah. It's like, I found these like 2 girls and they're really fun. And we've been doing a little bit of like some scuffles and you're not a lady.
I was so like, are you replacing me?
No,
Helena?
nobody could
How
ever replace
dare
you.
You flatter me
Purely
so.
business relationships.
Purely business. That's what they all say. And I think slowly she starts to get a little tired of waiting, and she gets a little more aggressive and is like, kind of like, she grabs your hand and is like, starts like slowly leading you towards the bedroom.
Yeah. I'll come with her.
Okay. So she's like,
it's not nice
well,
to keep a lady waiting.
Exactly. It has been a long time. We've got a lot to make up for. Bum, bum, bum. And then...
Did you and Abby plan this because I played Venus and you're like, oh, we have to make Logan uncomfortable because he did this with Venus all the time?
I planned nothing. All right. And y'all go to bed.
Yeah.
For a bit.
Yeah.
Have a good time, I'm
Yeah.
sure. And then how are you going to try and are you going to in the afterglow, or are you going to
Yeah. So we're like
spoil
laying
it?
in bed. It's like
Ruin
so
So bad timing, but have you ever heard of this dude?
Let's talk about other people while we're together.
Let's talk about other people now.
No, it's like, so I have heard that there's this lord that hosts marvelous parties, and I don't know if you've been to one yet.
I imagine she's kind of like laying back, and then she sort of kind of flips over on her, puts her head on her chin, kind of like, a lord who throws parties. I mean, a lot of them throw parties, Helena. You have to be more specific than that.
I think his name is like Pendleton. Maybe?
Oh, Penderton. You mean he's a lord? The oaf. He's barely a lord. He's just a man with a lot of money and distant connections, I think, at best. I have not been to any of his parties. They're so gauche, I don't like that sort of thing.
Oh,
But
what have you heard about them?
I mean, the people who go seem to have a good time, but I have more fun ways to spend my time. She kind of and then she goes, but I mean, a couple of my friends or associates have gone, and they've enjoyed them well enough. I mean, he's a charming gentleman. He has excellent food and entertainment, and of course, even more extra fun on the side is what I've heard. You're gonna have to roll if you want extra, like detailed information to
Let
see
me
what
consort with her. The levels 0.
Find out. Yeah, let's. With 0, you have 0.
Super dude.
Oh man. Yeah,
okay,
well, it was a.
Oh my goodness, it's a 5.
That would have been a 6 if
I
you didn't have a
but
0.
5, I'll take it.
All right, 5. Yeah, that's pretty good. So we get a standard. Yeah, I think she thinks a little harder. I forgot what we said our goal was for this now already. I got distracted.
I want to know
with our scene,
like how the parties usually go. Like
how
if
they normally go.
Yeah, if it's like a structured, or if there's, I don't, if they have like specific dining, like waiting staff and stuff. Like how organized it is, basically.
Okay, yeah. I think what she tells you, you act very curious about sort of the party and how the actual parties work out, and she goes, "Oh well, I mean, the nobles go on and on about any party they hold or go to, but it seems pretty much a free for all. I mean, there's no schedule as far as I can tell. There's music, there's food and drink aplenty. I think you just have to know the right ones to ask for or to look for. I believe it's more of like a buffet style sort of. The man has so much wealth, he just replaces things as they go. You do need an invitation to get in, of course, but that's not surprising. They're always large. They're always a bit hedonistic, one might say. But there's not much more to it than that. Lord Penderton's always around and about. He's a gracious host. He tends to mingle with the party members. And there are certain parts, I think, of the manor that are blocked off, but you don't need your guests wandering around in your private rooms.
Makes sense. Well, that's too bad. I thought maybe it would be fun to go.
I think there's ways you could convince me. Do you want me to get an invitation?
You might see if you can try, and maybe this one will be better than others.
We'll see, won't we? All right, and I think that is that. So, y'all could do more information gathering, or you could start narrowing down on what you think you want to do for the actual heist.
I feel like swapping the stuff near the train station could be a good plan, because once it gets to the party, this seems like it's already out of our hands.
I agree.
Yeah, I think you could do it at the party. It might.
It'd be fun to be kitchen staff, though.
Either way, it would be hard. I mean, there will probably be more party opportunities.
Yeah, I think it might if we.
I feel like your 3 options are kind of when it's unloaded first, when it's in transit, and then like when it's just gotten to Penderton.
Yeah.
Or we like preemptively deliver the wrong thing and
then intercept it after. Yeah, I do like that.
Just make sure that the wrong thing gets there.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, that seems the smartest.
Yeah. So I say we preemptively deliver the wrong thing, not too early, because they know when the shipment is coming, but maybe like earlier than it gets there. And then all we have to do is make off with the good stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I feel like this might almost be a transportation of the fake goods to Lord Penderton.
Yeah.
And then we could just follow that up with a quick smash and grab of the actual stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could make an argument for deception or social too. Well, maybe not social,
Probably not social.
but deception potentially for tricking them
'cause
into
we're
taking
deceiving
the
them.
wrong goods.
That is true. I guess we're not trying to transport something without being caught. We're trying to trick them into thinking we're the legitimate.
Yeah, I think the harder part of that is tricking them to take the wrong shipment, and then the second part to that is stopping the correct shipment.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to stop the correct shipment necessarily, but
Well, yeah, I guess as long as they get
the
bad
Sirens might
stuff.
not be happy about that.
Okay, well, I mean, let's start with delivering the false shipment, and then we can intercept the other one.
Yeah.
Can we say, like, within my scope of recon, I saw what the appropriate packaging was, like I kind of got an idea of what a shipment would look like? Or would I have to do
I don't
extra?
think so. That's the only problem. So, are we calling it a deception? Probably. Or
It's like a deception with a little bit of assault mixed in there.
yeah, so here's the
Mainly
problem.
deception.
You don't really
Mainly
have a method of deception, I feel like. Because you don't know. The guy you talk to wouldn't know if it's an illegal good or not. He's not really supposed to.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Sirens
I mean,
would know
me
how it's
personally.
supposed to
The
look,
Sirens
though.
would know how.
Yeah.
Because they're giving us the goods to swap out anyway.
Yeah. The Sirens.
I mean, I assume they pretty much already gave us the stuff to swap.
You have the stuff to swap, but the Sirens aren't going to know like what the shipment looks like, I guess.
I mean, this is what we could do. We could go and send, like, the deception could be, we tell them, pretending to be somebody from the Foghounds, and be like, shit, the shipment got taken, like, we're gonna try and find something for you, but it might be late, and, like, they're like, oh, no. And then we, like, come back an hour later with the fake shipment and be like, okay, so we figured it out. We have this stuff for you. And so, like, they think that we're recovering from something, but we're actually just slipping them the fake goods.
Could.
Or I was thinking we could try the servants would know what all the shipments look like.
They do, but
yeah,
they
you could just do a little more information gathering.
Yeah.
Or you could try. Or
like we could sneak around, see if there are any crates already in the manor, and see how those are packaged.
I mean, he pays the servants well, so I don't think they're going to be very easy to sway.
I could be a servant.
You could.
We could also be the people to unload it and then just swap it out there, and then whoever comes to get it can just deliver the wrong stuff.
I mean, that is true, but there's blue coats at the train station, and I don't think I want to tussle with them after we already tussled with them last time. I don't want to make too big of an enemy.
It's different people. You would probably be okay.
Or, yeah, I mean, the other thing is that when we deliver the fake goods first, right, we just are impersonating Foghounds. And we're like, and if somebody's like, well, this looks different than usual, we can be like, oh, we had to we had to change things up this time. The damn Sirens are moving in our territory, and things change.
Okay.
And then that's kind of.
So it sounds like we want to do a deception. Your method of deception is impersonating the Foghounds.
Mm-hmm.
I think that sounds the easiest.
Yeah.
Okay. So we just need to roll engagement.
Oh God.
Who has the best luck?
Is it just one die, Sean?
Yeah, because it's just a fortune roll, starting with a 1d for sheer luck, and then y'all can make arguments for if you should take a +1 or a -1.
I don't want to make an argument for -1.
Well, I can make an argument for -1, and I might.
Oh no, why, Sean?
I can't think of a reason for a +1.
I can't either.
Exactly.
Desperately searching my mind for.
I'm gonna give you a -1, I think, because I don't feel like this is a particularly strong point of deception.
It's not.
I think you can power through it, but I don't think this is the best way to do it.
Thanks, Sean.
Yikes. Okay.
So we got a 3.
It wouldn't have mattered
we got
even
a
if you
2.
didn't have it.
We got a 2.
Okay.
This
So
will be fun though.
you start in a desperate position when the action starts.
I'm ready.
This is so bad. Okay. I have no idea how I'm gonna do
XP.
this.
Trauma.
So I think the three of you are you've switched into sort of workers' garbs. Maybe you've given a little bit of a nautical theme.
We have to determine loadout real quick.
Oh, yes, you're right. I'm sorry. Forgot we do that.
We're acting like Foghounds, right?
Yeah.
We are.
I feel like they would have a normal load.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with normal. And something else happened when we did load.
I don't think so.
It was something I don't remember. Never mind.
No,
you
you
choose
just need
load and you do planning.
Oh, you reset your armor if you've used it, but none of us have used our armor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you'll have your armor.
No.
Because you have to take that ability.
Mm-hmm.
We could wear normal armor, but none of us have.
Okay. So, y'all are off to a bad start. Okay. Y'all are dressed, like heavy load-bearing people. You've got a crate filled with goods from the Sirens that they provided for you as kind of a replacement. And you've made your way to the back of Lord Strangford's manor. I think you've used kind of like a back canal. He's got, or not Lord Strangford, that's the wrong one. Lord Penderton.
I was like, where are we going? We went to the wrong house.
I don't know where I grabbed that from.
No, that's why we're in a desperate position.
You're in the wrong place.
We have your illicit drugs.
Knock, knock. Here's your drugs. So you arrive at the back of Lord Penderton's manor, and you can tell, the front has been accepting. Actually, I think you're before the party.
Yeah, pre-party.
Yeah, you're before the party. But you can tell everyone's kind of in a flurry to get ready. You go over to the door and you just knock, I guess.
Do we?
Do we? What do you guys want to do? I think you're...
Is this what's making us desperate?
I feel like the desperate position is we knock on the kitchen door and for some reason Lord Penderton answers.
Jesus. Okay.
And we're just like,
I'm fine with that. Sure. You knock on the door And yeah, much to your surprise, it is not a servant who opens. It's a relatively handsome, kind of in his mid-30s gentleman who is very well dressed, impeccably dressed. I think maybe he's got a little flower or something on him. Maybe a little smudge of food where he's been tasting some of the delicacies he'll be presenting. But he is also in the kitchen for some reason, and maybe he was waiting for a certain special shipment. So when you knock on the door, he swings it open, looks at you all, looks at the shipment a little confused, and is like, "I'm sorry, who are you?"
Duchess, it was your idea for him to be there.
But you're the party face.
Or I can talk.
So this is going to be desperate, whatever it is.
Whatever it is. I can sway. That's what
Okay.
I also could sway, but yeah, you should do it.
Y'all can do a group action. I mean, remember, you can always do teamwork for
That's
any
right. Let's
action.
all tip our tricorns and be like, "Where are the Foghounds?"
You got a nautical theme, yeah, for your workers' garb. You're kind of
Hello,
dressed
my
up like
lord.
sailors.
Yeah.
Hello, my
I guess-
lord.
So my understanding of the Foghounds is that Abby will stay silent and look menacing.
Mhm.
I'll get up in his face,
Yeah.
and then Echo, you just become the liaison
Yes.
as I'm screaming at him.
Yes.
Okay, you're gonna
I'm gonna scream at him.
and then I'm gonna be like, "This is what we agreed on. Don't talk back to me."
No, that's me.
Or one of y'all can assist, but you have to say how you're
Let's do
assisting.
a group sway. That sounds great.
Okay.
You are synchronized, so
we
group
all have
actions are
sway.
generally
It's
better
not
for
going to
you.
be that bad.
Okay.
But here's the
Alright.
thing. What is your sort of
We're
leverage?
swaying him to.
Yeah, I
think
guess
it's that
We're swaying through
pretending to be
deception.
Foghounds.
Yeah.
Like we know that
Disguise.
he's expecting a shipment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it says first sway, charm, logic, deception, disguise, or bluff. So we're bluffing.
Yeah.
I think
You-
Duchess will speak up when he answers. She's just she's used to addressing other lords.
Mhm.
Yeah,
she just
sway
sort
is
of, like,
change
naturally-
attitudes with behavior and manipulation.
And she's just like, "And might you be Lord Penderton?"
Why, yes, I am. But you still not answered my question. Who are you? And what is this nonsense?
Oh yes, we're with the hounds. We
Kind of narrows his eye.
there was a mix-up, and the regular crew got apprehended by some bluecoats. So luckily, they managed to stash the goods. So we still have those for you. The Foghounds always come through. I tip my tricorn hat,
Kind
and
of
then they
nods.
tip their tricorn hats, and we do a group action.
We're
let's
so
see,
persuasive in our tipping of hats.
Erg. How do I want to do this? Okay, so you need to state an effect that you're trying to get out of this. So you're trying to convince
To
him to
convince
take
him
the.
that we're
Take
legit.
the goods. Yeah. Take
Okay.
the goods.
Or to take
Alright.
the goods. I don't know. Probably that we're legit is better.
That we're legit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
that
I
y'all are-
imagine he doesn't take the goods personally,
Yeah.
but like he'll like,
Yeah, we're just
Great.
like, tell us where you want them.
yeah, hey boss, where we put these crates?
Okay. He. Okay, so you need to convince him that you are actually part of the Foghounds.
Yes.
Basically. So roll a
And
group sway.
Does I don't know if my skill helps, but when I use a disguise or form of covert misdirection, will I get 1d?
You rip off their mask.
Only if I reveal, I get
Oh,
an
okay.
advantage. I get the 1d for any disguise
Gotcha.
to deflect suspicion or confuse.
Are you using a disguise?
I mean, we're dressed in slightly
Assuming-
nautical theme, and I have a tricorn hat on.
Yeah, but I might have to make you use your
we-
fine disguise kit or something.
Can we flash back?
That's fine.
Can we flash back to having? This is weird.
What?
I want to like have a flashback in which I had Echo do something.
Okay.
You can do
Mm,
that,
Or like,
right?
What?
or it can just be like a servant. I guess it can just be a servant. I want a flashback to me having somebody go up to his manor earlier in the day, pretending to be a blue coat and like asking for him and like making it seem like there was an investigation or something, so that it doesn't seem unreasonable that a shipment was seized,
Yeah.
or like to at least have put it on his radar.
Mm-hmm.
So you bribed one of your old or you paid one of your old servants to go up in disguise as a blue coat, since I have an old blue coat hanging around from our last.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want it to have been you, because then he'd be like, "Aren't you that blue coat I just talked to?"
Yeah.
Okay.
I lend my coat.
I think that's at least one stress because you have to convince someone to dress up as a blue coat and then lie
Yeah.
to do this. And then
That's
you need to
fine.
roll still
Mm-hmm.
for. You're having a lot of people do stuff for you, so you're not actually doing the rolling.
So like, yeah, it could be like a.
Fortune roll?
It's either a
I guess
sway or
in
a
this
consort.
case, it would be. Like, I could even argue this would be like a flashback to a downtime activity of having an asset do this for us.
Can you do that?
Yeah, you just, instead of stress, you pay with rep or coin.
If the flashback, oh yeah, play coin or rep. Do you want to do that? Because then you have to acquire an asset.
Yeah, I think
And
that,
your
yes.
assets are not great.
I mean,
we should get Arden to do it.
I just don't know what else I would roll, because like I'm not doing it.
Well, you're convincing this other.
Yeah, you can consort.
Gosh.
Or
maybe.
wait. Can we get my nemesis to do it by luring him there?
Ooh,
No,
we give
no,
him
no,
like
no,
a hot
because
tip.
we're lying. We're lying. Okay. So you're trying to convince him that it's on his radar.
Yeah.
I don't.
Or like this could be, I could even argue it's like it's a
So-
normal. I'll pay the stress, roll consort to see how good of a person I have do this, and then they roll their tier based on how good I roll consort to get them.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
I guess I'm trying to figure out what the effect is going to be on the current situation to try and like reduce the consequences of it being desperate.
I think it would be reducing the position. No, getting a better position.
Getting a better position. How about actually?
Or an advantage or an effect.
Or
I think
greater
it might be
effect.
better effect because y'all might be at limited effect.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well then I definitely want to do this.
And we'll still
for,
get
like,
the XP since we're rolling desperate, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I think you're still desperate, but I'll let you roll that for greater effect. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Okay. So
Greater or standard effect?
or sorry, standard. I meant greater as in to
Increased
increase
effect,
limited
yeah.
to standard.
Got it.
Okay, so roll whatever you're gonna roll. You get to
Okay.
choose what action you roll.
So
And then-
consort to find somebody willing to do this, and I think that technically it's like if I roll a 1 to a 3, it's minus our tier, which is still 0.
Right.
And then if I roll a 4 or 5, it's our tier, which is 0. And if I roll
Yeah.
a 6, it's a +1 to our tier, so 1.
Mm-hmm.
So more than
Yes.
likely a 0.
Yes. So yeah, it'll just be risky standard for the flashback. I'm sorry, a critical?
What?
All right.
Go
Okay.
Foxfire.
I was not expecting
Oh.
that.
Big moves.
Oh,
Oh my god.
Wow.
That's our
I
give
still
first
me,
think-
critical.
give me
I feel
one
like that's
second.
just an actual +2 rather than
That is a plus
+1.
Yeah.
2 to the tier of your person.
Us, so 2.
So you have a tier 2 person now who tried to do
Oh my
this.
god.
And we'll
And-
say that theirs is
I think it's just
a-
a fortune roll using
yeah, just
their
roll
tier.
2 fortune die. Mm-hmm.
God.
Oh.
God.
Okay. I think yeah, Lord Penderton's very like he's not dumb, so he's pretty cautious, and he easily plays this person off and is like, if anything, he's now more suspicious of people who are trying to get yeah, because he's like, there's no way the Bluecoats would know about this, so someone else is obviously must be trying to do something. So at the very least, he's a little extra suspicious.
Great.
So now you'll need to roll your desperate
Okay, guys,
Oh,
let's
well.
just synchronize
limited.
this.
Yeah.
Unless
And this is
All right, who's
sway.
leading?
Wait.
Do we have to lead to synchronize?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who wants to
I have
lead?
2 sway.
It doesn't
leading
really matter.
is related to stress,
Yeah.
really.
Okay, then I mean, Logan and I have the most
Tied
stress
for
around.
stress at this point.
Yeah.
Maybe you lead, Abby. Maybe you
No,
lead
I
first.
shouldn't lead. You
Why?
should lead because you can help people for free.
You're right. Okay,
That's
I'll
true.
lead.
Okay, please, everyone, roll your sways.
And this is desperate.
This is desperate limited.
Boy.
I could have made it worse. Somehow,
Okay.
flashbacks are complicated.
Okay.
All right, so
Okay.
Abby takes 2 stress.
No,
I
Logan.
take
Oh,
stress.
Logan takes 2 stress.
I'm almost
Duchess,
tapped.
I should say.
You are not almost tapped.
Okay, so you attempt this sway.
We get a 4.
We do get a 4.
You get what you wanted. Yes, exactly. So it goes through. But there is a serious complication.
No shit.
Okay, so he looks you over and is like confused, and Penderton is like, well, this is unusual. I've never seen any of your faces before from the hounds, as you called them, but I am expecting them. So
New territory, new faces.
he sort of smiles a tight smile. He looks at the cargo and he says, now I gotta think of y'all's complication first before I really play this out.
Hopefully he doesn't notice the siren markings we've etched out and replaced with big foxhounds. You could just start a clock, like, of him.
I know,
being
I'm trying to think
suspicious.
of what clock to do. That's the question. I think I like yeah, we'll start.
Maybe like accosted by Penderton's guards.
No. Much more fun than this.
The
We'll set
real
up
Foghounds show
and
up.
8 o'clock, the Foghounds show up.
The
And
real
fill in 3 of
Foghounds.
them.
Fill in 3.
Oh,
Whoa. Okay. I got it.
And that's the actual delivery shows up?
That's, yes, the
Okay.
Foghounds with the actual delivery show up.
Yep.
So Penderton sort of brings you in and is like, wait here for just a moment and I will have some of my servants escort you to the proper place. Delivery. Nice. You didn't fill in 3.
Oh shit! I was hoping you wouldn't notice.
That's the most important part. That's the actual effectiveness of that consequence. All right. And I think in just after that, like he leaves, y'all wait around for just a couple minutes, and two sort of two servants come in, and they seem to be sort of a little better kept. Maybe they're have higher seniority, and so they kind of nod to you three, and they're like, "Follow us, and we'll show you where to deposit it." And they lead you through the manor, going towards one of the closed, kind of one of the upper, no, not an upper section. They lead you to like a side storage room, basically. And actually, Lord Penderton is still following you. He like came back with those servants, and he's following the three of you as the servants lead you through. And you end up in kind of this storage room. And once you're inside, you can see it's kind of like just a brick cellar almost, and it's got the remnants of other sort of boxes and shipments. And when you get there, Lord Penderton kind of gives you all a once-over, and he's like, "Well, open it up. Come on, show me the goods."
Open.
Yeah, while she's doing that,
crowbar.
Have we opened them before?
Yeah, we've looked at it, probably.
Yeah.
You would know what it is, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which...
It's all here, my lord.
It's a mix of a couple things that it's a mix of a couple different drugs that the Sirens think are commonly used. I mean, they don't know the exact shipments necessarily. So it's a bit of Black Lotus, Dream Smoke, and some trance powder.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Can I flash back to me finding one of the people who went to the last party, and then like talking with them and getting a names of the few of the drugs that were there?
Yeah. So are you gonna go to the party, or you're just gonna find someone who
I'm gonna
went
like
to the
pretend to
party?
be leaving at the same time somebody else is leaving, and like they're like, "Oh, that party was so fun. What drugs did you do?"
Oh, you did those drugs too. Great.
Yeah, wow, I did those same ones.
I don't, see, here's the thing. I don't think
once a week.
You don't think people know?
I don't think they know the exact drugs. They know that
Okay.
certain food items give certain effects. So if you really, I mean, maybe the person is discerning enough to be able to tell. But I think...
I guess, could I have them tell me what effects? And then I could go to my
whoa,
ribbon.
man, what are you feeling?
Yeah, like those mushrooms really make me fall into a trance.
Yeah, no. So, yeah, you talk to him.
I don't know what was in those mushrooms.
I think this will be zero stress, because you're just kind of talking about what a good time they had, so that's not too hard. And so for this previous one,
I mean, this is sort of like two-step if you want to just lump them in. I was going to get the effects and then go to my contact who's a chemist and like see what drugs would have these effects. Or what would be the most likely case.
1, 2 step.
Yeah, I still need you to roll, though.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, like, if you want to lump those into one roll rather than having me do 2 separate rolls.
I think it's still 2 separate rolls.
Oh, okay. Like a setup action or whatever it's called?
Well, it's more like a double flashback, because you're trying to get 2 different things. 1, you're trying to get information about the drugs they did, and then 2, you're trying to get the chemist to tell you what kind of drug that was.
You could probably get the Sirens to tell you what kind of drug that was too, though.
That is true.
I'm not going to make you pay stress for either of them.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll just do both.
Yeah.
But we need a roll to see effective.
Well, is it just like a fate to see how well that guy tells me what it is, or a consort to try and, or do I command him?
No, I think it's gonna be like
Tell me!
It's not a fate. You have to
Okay.
try and convince him. So you could like sway, you could consort,
I
could
think
command.
I'll consort and like be like, well, I had some of the mushroom eel stew. What's that? You didn't see it? Oh, it was hidden in back. I assure you, it really was there. What did you have? How did that make you feel? Mine brought back bad childhood memories.
He was like,
I guess what's my position?
so
and
roll.
effect?
Sorry.
What's my position?
Your
and effect?
position and your effect is risky standard.
Could I argue for a controlled because it's just some guy leaving a party?
Yes. Yes. I will give you controlled but limited. Okay. It's
still
fine.
It's still a 3 because I
Too
can't
late.
actually succeed on a roll.
Except for that crit that was still a failure.
That's
Yeah,
that was
true.
The
useless in
crit
the
that
end.
led into a failure, yeah. I don't know if I've
Ultimately.
actually succeeded on a roll. I'll have to go back and check.
I
'cause
think
I
you
don't think
have.
it's
You
This
have to have at
game?
least once. Maybe not this round, this game.
When we
but
swayed.
Yeah, you got the 4.
I got on the group action.
Yeah.
Okay. So you talk to him, and he's like, "Oh yes, I tried a little bit of everything. It was wonderful." And he just starts listing a couple different effects, and I guess
This one makes me feel
he just
full.
starts listing
This
a couple
one makes
different
me feel
effects.
spicy.
So he's like, "Oh, one just made me so calm. Then another one gave me this like tinge of energy. I just kept getting static off of everything."
Okay.
And
So
then
not
Well,
helpful.
I don't. That's not really enough to go off of, unless it's like a. I
yeah,
can still
I
make
was
the roll, or it's
I-
like limited effect for the chemist, or I don't know.
I think it's unless you want to try again from a different.
No, I don't have anything. Nope, we'll just flash back to present.
Okay. So he
Open.
has
Yeah.
you open it up, and he looks through it with his servants, who now you're starting to get the impression that they might be like guards almost.
Oh,
Like
we
they're
agree.
they're a little. They look like they know what they're doing, and they're standing kind of defensively around Penderton.
I'm gonna like nudge Echo and be like, "Hey, you should distract him while he's looking through. Like, talk to him so he's not paying so good attention."
Penderton, yeah, is starting to rifle through, and he's like
Okay.
making faces like while he holds stuff up, and he's like, "This doesn't seem right," and is kind of just like going
Alright.
through all of the stuff.
Echo's grand plan.
Oh boy.
And I guess you guys could veto this before she actually does it. But
It's a bomb,
it's a bomb.
a pipe bomb.
It's a mess.
She's
You're
like,
a mess.
she has trans powder. Her trans powder is stronger than the garden variety. Like, I'm guessing they blend their trans powder at different strengths, right? Because her trans powder.
I mean, there's probably so many different qualities.
Yeah, so her trans powder that she keeps on as a slide
It's weaponized powder.
is weaponized.
It's
And
weaponized.
will make somebody essentially like open to suggestion.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So her concept for this is
Oh.
that she's like, you want to sample the goods, my lord, so you know that we're good for it, and then like
Have
sleight
him
of
do yours, yeah.
hand gives him mine, and then he's under
I like it. Yeah, that's
our
good.
suggestive powers.
Okay. So
Also,
you're.
it's the good stuff, so he can't be disappointed.
So what's your
Yeah,
goal?
He's never had this kind of stuff before. My goal is to slip him my trans powder and to make him suggestible.
Yeah, you want to
Okay.
like swap.
Ultimately,
What action are you gonna take to do that?
finesse.
Mm-hmm.
Because I
Finesse.
think it's ultimately a sleight of hand trick.
Yeah.
I agree.
Where
Okay. I think
where
you're
I'm like-
desperate. You are all still desperate.
anybody want to help?
I'll help you.
So
I'll,
you're
like-
desperate, and the effect level is
Great.
limited.
No, okay.
Because he's not gonna just sample a huge amount, even if it's the good stuff.
sneeze as you're giving it to him, so blood.
Also, I mean, honest.
I need a better way to transmute this trance powder. It's too good. And
Well,
yet
it's
so
powerful. That's why
unwieldy.
you're not supposed to. It's not easy to use. There's something. I'm trying to remember. There's something like when someone's a veteran,
or is there
there's
like
a way to make y'all like roll resistance or something to an action.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about.
But I can't
like, is there a
remember
setup action for this that would
exactly
help?
how that works. If someone's a veteran, or if they're like an elite.
Yes, I know what you're talking about. Where is it?
It might be under resistance.
If you want to think of a way for me to assist you, Echo, because I don't have one, but
Or Abby said she might be able
Yeah,
to.
I could help by like, if I see you pull this out, like just make subtle movements enough that like your movements
you visually
are more
distract
hidden.
him. Yeah. Like maybe you just like move a little quickly, and so his gaze goes to you, and like the guards look at you.
Gosh, I wish I could remember. Okay, so here's the thing. He doesn't normally sample the goods, is the problem. Okay. So he was going to make y'all sample it.
Oh, no.
Or have one of his guards try a little. So, I think he looks at all of this stuff and it starts to be like, this isn't right. This isn't what I requested at all, even if it's good quality, which normally they should have told you I have y'all check for me. So I think you need to calm him down before you can even. I mean, you could. Okay, here's what I'll say. If you want to still do your roll, Sarah, it would be desperate, but 0 effect, because there's no way he would normally do it. So you'd have to somehow make it higher than 0 effect.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or you have to do a different action.
Or you can be like,
that whole idea.
We did sample this, my lord.
No, you just need a different. You might need a different way to get there.
You can always push yourself for +1 effect.
Yeah.
Well, technically, I mean, Okay, let me.
What do you?
I don't know.
Mean?
You guys can think of something else if this is just too much trouble. If
we just have to calm him down, right?
If we calm him down,
you would have to make him receptive to the idea that maybe he should try it,
or we have
receptive to the new drug idea. It's like, yeah, these are different because.
Or convince him that these are still like, why is this the wrong shipment?
Yeah.
Or we're just it's just packaged differently, my lord.
I mean, we could do something like Duchess sees this she like sees Echo trying to get him to take this powder, and she's like, she sees him freaking out that it's not the right stuff. She's like, oh, we forgot, the boss told us to tell you that they thought they'd change it up a little bit, seeing how we've been giving you the same stuff for a while, that since you're a repeat customer, we'd offer you a better shipment. So this is some good stuff. You might want to try it before you serve it to your guests so you can do the dosing, you know?
He kind of like, okay, so
you've been so good to us that we threw in some freebies.
Okay, so what is your goal with that action?
For him to say, oh, it makes sense, I should try this, so that I know how strong it is. It's a setup action.
Oh, okay, so you want it to be an actual setup action.
Well, I didn't, but now Abby said those words, and I realized that makes sense. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. It is desperate limited.
Sway?
It says, so Foresight lets me assist a teammate without paying stress.
Correct.
Does that include setting up a teammate, or is that
Setup
totally
doesn't
separate?
cost stress.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because it's just your own roll.
Oh, well, perfect.
But it'll incur consequences.
Right.
Still.
Yeah, I think I'm swaying. And you said desperate limited?
Desperate limited.
F this guy. Do you have a devil's bargain for me?
Ooh.
Ooh, that's right. Devil's bargains.
I think. Man, no, I don't have a good one. Can anyone else think of something that might be interested? Top of my head. I was thinking maybe extra heat because Penderton and these two people have seen all three of you.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I'll accept that.
Yeah.
Okay, you'll accept that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you'll have extra heat now.
And
you said sway.
Yeah, does someone want to try and assist you?
I can assist you.
Can you assist me with the setup for yourself?
Yeah.
I guess, yeah.
Can I?
You can assist with any action, but you have to say how you're assisting.
Yeah.
Well,
take
it's
one
just
stress.
me. It's just me, like chorusing behind him, being like,
It's what
Yeah,
you started with. Yeah.
"You're like, you didn't let me finish, my lord. You know, that's what he says.
Okay.
Joey's the smart one."
So y'all are kind of like two against one almost.
Yeah, we have dominant scale versus him, so he has 0 effect.
Versus him, but he has 2 servant guards with him. So
shit. Okay.
But I'll let that count for the assist. Okay, so you get.
So I take 1 stress.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Hey,
Okay.
5.
Okay.
Still not great.
Still not great.
So you get what you want. So he calms down a little. He's like, now he's just kind of annoyed. Like he's not freaking out, but now he's just kind of like, the Foghounds know that I get exactly what I request. I don't get extras. I don't get less. I don't get more. We talked about this. I don't know who told you to do all this extra shit, but I don't need it.
Can I resist that consequence?
I haven't really even told you the consequence.
Okay.
This was just him.
That was just narrative.
Talking. Yeah.
Okay.
So, because this was just a setup action, technically.
Yeah.
So I think our consequence is going to be the guards start to come forward towards y'all, and they're either gonna like beat you up and kick you out, basically, or they're going to get rid of this. They're moving towards the stuff, and he's like, if you can't get me the right things, I'll just get what I can now from someone else and get rid of this trash.
But my setup action did work?
Your setup action worked.
Okay, but that was the consequence of it?
Yes, the consequence is that they're about to just throw you and the bad stuff just
higher.
completely out.
Okay.
Okay,
so that gives Echo a +1 effect? My setup
that
action?
can give her a +1 effect or improved position.
Well, you're at 0 effect, so...
You are at 0 effect to get him to try it.
Maybe take +1 effect.
Taking +1 effect. So we still like my idea of getting him to try to take the trans powder.
Or the guards? I don't know. Either.
Or can I have resisted? I wanted to have resisted the guards moving forward.
Yeah, okay.
Do
So you
do I
gotta
have to decide how? Like, do I have to describe how I do that, or does it just?
No, you just choose to resist. We have to pick what you're resisting with. Which I
Insight?
think is what is it? Yeah, I think it's insight.
I think so too.
I mean, okay,
Deception.
as long as it's not prowess, my things are
No.
tied, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's insight.
Okay.
Nice. Good job.
Whoa,
Hey, zero
nice.
stress.
Whoa.
Okay. So the guards are getting kind of agitated and they've stepped forward a little bit, but everyone's still just talking at the moment.
Okay.
All right. So I have been set up for a list. I'm still at a limited effect.
Mhm.
You're at limited effect and still desperate position.
If I offer it to a guard, would that change my effective
Yes,
position?
I would say standard.
The standard base, and then we can increase it after that?
No, that would
limited
standard
to start.
including all the benefits. It would
Okay.
just be one increase in effect.
And I feel like you could command a guard, be like, "Hey, you get over here and show him. Like, try
Yeah.
this."
Yeah, I mean, I think I would be like, it's good, isn't
Or
it?
convince him to get one of his guards to try it.
Mm-hmm.
Which is so you can either go through Lord Penderton to the
Like,
guard,
yeah,
or you
look,
could
just
try and
give
go
us the
directly to
benefit
the
of
guard.
the doubt. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll say, oh, my lord, just if you only let your guards sample it, you'll see how quality this stuff is, and it was well intentioned. We honor your business so much. We just wanted to give you something a little extra on the side.
I'm gonna foresight assist her and be like, "They say this even knocked the bear on his ass."
Mm-hmm.
All right, yeah. He knows who the bear is. You can see him going. He kind of like he's annoyed, but now he's like curious a little bit.
Yeah, and you know how terrible he is. He's a big man.
So he kind of like nods a guard over, and now you have to roll for your finesse roll, because that's I think what we decided on.
Well, this is is it finesse now or is it sway?
You still have to sleight of hand your powder.
Right. I'll take the finesse. And do I get my +1 for covert misdirection to confuse or deflect suspicion?
Oh my god.
Yes.
Yes.
Wait, what is that again?
I have when you use a disguise or other form of covert misdirection, which I am literally misdirecting him.
Use a deflect suspicion, and he is suspicious. Okay, yes.
So you have +2 dice.
+2 dice.
No.
So I will.
Yeah. Because Duchess is helping.
Oh, from the assist.
So my setup gives you plus effect.
The effect.
My assist gives you plus dice.
Yep.
And I suffer any consequences you suffer by assisting.
Yep.
Okay. So risky, standard.
No, desperate. Everyone's still desperate. We have not gained control of this situation in any way, shape, or form.
No, okay, desperate. Sean, can't you tell I'm in control? Desperate standard.
Desperate standard.
And we said how many dice? 2 dice?
2 bonus dice.
Okay. Come on.
Yeah.
6. All right, there we go. Okay.
And make sure you mark XP for desperate rolls.
Yeah.
I have
I'm really racking them up.
Do it. So he motions the guard over. You find one of the containers that you know has powder. Meanwhile, you've had a little slipped into your sleeve. That's your regular stuff. And you quickly just instead of, you kind of like look as if you're dabbing your finger in to get a little powder for him, but you actually grab some of your own and then just sprinkle it in his palm for him to try. He does, and he is out of it. He's immediately put into the trance. Like effects are like the usual effects, like it's super strong stuff. Which I think is impressive because he does normally, since he's already cutting it, he doesn't necessarily need the highest quality stuff. So Lord Penderton sees this and he says, and he kind of nods a little bit.
See me, Lord.
And he says, Is all of this extra stuff as strong as that?
Yes. But you want to, you might want to save it for your top quality guests, if you know what I mean.
We spittled about some of the usual. It's over there. We was just seeing if you like this new stuff.
We've got our hands on a new supplier.
I think you're gonna need to make one more roll to convince Lord Penderton. You're only risky now.
Oh, nice.
And standard effect. So he needs one more kind of
group
push to get him.
Oh, we could group action it.
Group sway.
Yeah. So he's kind of like, it does seem to be good quality, but I hate when people mess with my plans by giving me things that I didn't ask for. I don't need this normally. I need a good reason not to just throw it all out.
Well,
or something. I don't know.
She talked to the boss. You tell him, and I point to Sylph.
You point to Sylph?
Yeah.
Don't point at me!
No, I want you to lead the group action.
Did y'all never use the excuse yet that the blue coats might have taken the old shipment or something?
That's how I opened it.
Yeah, that's how
we
started.
opened with that one?
Yeah. So it's like, this is what we had.
Remember, I gave myself a setup roll.
Yeah. This is what we had in reserves after the other stuff was taken. Like, this will make your guests really happy.
Yeah, it's like,
okay.
we're sorry for the mix-up. This will never happen again, but because...
At least this way you can throw a great party.
Yeah. We all know our commitments.
We
wanted you to know that, we have even more we can offer you in the future.
If you ask for it.
We only had to dip in this time because our plans were...
The guy on Transpowder's like really, he's susceptible. Is that what he is?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'll motion him. You tell them how good this stuff is. To the susceptible guy.
The guard, kind of dazed out of his mind, is like, yeah, it's really good.
The best he's ever had.
What's good? Again?
Hey, look, he's
Penderton
talking nonsense.
looks at him and okay, I think he I think he gives in. He relents.
Hi.
Finally. He says, "Fine, I'll make do with this for now, but let your boss know that if she wants my continued business, this better not happen again."
Oh, never, sir, never.
And he kind of
we bow.
We're sorry.
And we scuttle out. And we're like,
kind of walks out and is
we
like,
look appropriately chastened.
"Take them away. I don't want to see their faces anymore. I need a party to plan with all these new changes."
Remember, it's very potent, so dilute it more than you would.
Okay.
And
so,
as the guard, like Miss Pendleton's away, right? And as the guards escort us out, can I I don't know if we need to do this, if it's necessary, but I can make sure that the guard ensures that the drug, he uses our drugs, or do we think he's totally bought?
How long does the transpowder last? Like, could you tell him to send away to stay out here and send the other shipment away?
Yes.
Like, is it hypnosis powder?
No, it does not last that long.
It lasts forever. Shh.
It lasts, I think.
I know.
It lasts for a little bit, but it's not like.
Oh. Well, I mean, okay, here, this is out of character. Maybe just get his name and where they usually drop it off, and then and then we will be out there and intercept it.
Mm-hmm.
As now we're gonna pretend to be Pendleton's men
Yes.
and take it from the Foghounds.
Yes.
So wait, so the guards are currently leading you back towards the kitchen entrance.
Yeah.
Correct.
And what are you trying to do?
One is on trans powder and one is not.
Yeah, I mean the guy on trans powders. Yeah, sure, yes. One is on trans powder. The guard is now trying to keep track of all 4 of you.
Okay. Maybe Sylph do that. You're more stealthy than us. Be like, just get his information and where they normally pick up the stuff.
That's not a stealth thing. That's a talky thing.
Well, no, like, because I imagine, he's susceptible. You just need to do it so the other guard doesn't hear.
Oh, I see.
Like, me and
get up close
Echo
and whisper.
Yeah,
in his
so
ear.
I'll get up close to him. Just like a little bit and be like, I'm sorry to bother you, sir, but was there something we did wrong? I feel like this exchange went poorly, and is there some way we can improve, some other better drop-off point?
You're such an earnest.
How can I help you?
How can we make this customer service experience better for you?
I'm sorry,
How
sir.
can
Have
we
you
make
heard of
this
He Who Walks in Darkness?
Okay, so you're trying to do that, but your real goal, we know he's going to tell you information. Your real goal is to do it without the other guard finding out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're not going to even have this opportunity unless someone else
Distracts
sets
the
it
other one.
up somehow, because no one else is talking.
Oh, I imagine Echo and I are going to make a little kerfuffle.
Yeah,
in the
we
kitchen.
can.
You want to make a little kerfuffle?
We can be like, oh, I've always wanted to try one of those fancy eel things, and and the other guard is like, stop that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they have eel here. And then
Okay. No, I want you to roll for that though. So
Okay.
controlled standard
Okay.
to distract the other guard.
I have no
And
idea
we'll
what
count
that
it as
would
a
be.
setup
Yeah.
for Abby.
Sylph. Okay.
Just for Sylph, yeah.
You could make it risky great. Which doesn't sound awful.
Yeah, that sounds pretty
Okay.
good.
All right.
You want to trade him
Risky
for
great.
risky great? What are you or Logan or Duchess gonna roll to?
I'm just narratively doing it. I'm not rolling doing it.
Wreck.
Oh God.
What action do you want to take?
I could wreck. I feel like it's a sway. It's a people
Yeah,
thing.
it's a people
It's
thing.
either a sway or a consort.
Yeah. But it's not consort because you don't care about this guy.
I'm bluffing, so
Yeah.
it's kind of a sway.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's sway sounds appropriate. Wreck is supposed to be excessive force.
Things, yeah.
If I knocked over the whole tower of
Yeah.
pastries.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you don't necessarily want to make him angry, or maybe you do. I mean, as long as he's distracted,
Not yet.
I guess.
As a last
Okay.
resort, I can make him angry, but I'll try and just.
So
be
risky
annoying.
great sway.
Yeah. Do I still get my +1d to confuse or deflect suspicion from Echo doing her maneuver?
That
I really like having
it's a
this
very
extra.
useful ability. I know. I'm trying to see
They
if
put
it's
it
got.
as the second one, but I really feel like it should be the first one choice. It's a covert form of misdirection.
It's just
When you use
highly
disguise-
applicable.
Covert misdirection.
It is. It's highly applicable to how I operate.
But you're not doing the covert misdirection.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, she is.
I'm like, look at what this is. I'm taking his.
You grab a whole eel out of a pool.
It's still alive.
Okay, yes. Take your die.
Okay. Thank you. We said risky great.
If you
Yeah.
want it, or you can have controlled standard.
No, I want risky great.
Roll away.
Okay, hold on. It's being persnickety 2-1 bonus die. Okay.
Okay, nice.
All right. You do it, and we're gonna tick 2 on our clock.
Lovely.
And you have succeeded in distracting. Oh, what's his face? Guard number 2. And
the
then
sober guard.
Sylph needs to stealthily extract information from guard number 1.
Yeah.
The doped guard.
Yeah. Which I will give you. You're gonna prowl for it?
Yeah, sure.
And you get our.
I'll either give you controlled standard or no, risky standard, because you are in a room full of people now. If we've made it all the way to the kitchen.
Okay, that's fine. Risky standard. Yeah, that's. Yep.
Woo!
Hey, wow, 6. All right. You do it. You kind of get close to him and maybe hold him back a little bit towards the entrance, away from everyone else, as both Duchess and Echo create sort of a kerfuffle in the kitchen with their rambunctiousness. And you ask him about that, and he says, or ask, what are you going to ask him, I guess?
I'm asking him how we could have made this transaction go smoother, like what the normal drop-off point is. We're new, so
Okay.
what the standard operation is what I'm trying to get from him.
Right. He says, he's kind of, in his zoned out voice, he's like, oh, yeah, you did come to the wrong place. I mean, normally they go to the little side dock in the canal over to the west, but I don't care.
Thanks, buddy.
How many people are there usually? Sylph. Psychically. Will he say? Like, can he say?
It varies. Sometimes it's only 2, other times it's 4 or 5.
We're in the kitchen, right?
Yeah.
Are there like a bunch of cooks around?
Yes.
Oh, perfect. Okay, as we're about to leave, like at the door, I'll say, I'll like just turn back around and be like, you lot look like you work hard. I snagged this from the boss and I've been waiting to bring it out. And I'll bring out my bottle of fine whiskey and I'll say, Master says I'm not supposed to hit the liquor anymore, but I was ignoring this.
I don't know if I can really imagine Duchess doing this, talking like that.
She's very good at being undercover. Anyway, so she's
Okay.
like, so I won't drink the whole thing. If you want to share this, shots for everyone. And then I'm going to start pulling out little glasses, just boop, 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 and just starting handing them to people without them even noticing. And I'm going to give one to the remaining guard that I have dumped my vial of slumber essence into.
Ooh.
You're going to have to roll finesse.
Can I?
Or, sorry, I guess I'm not supposed to do that. What? You're going to have to roll for that.
That makes sense. Can I?
What do you want to roll?
Flash back to me like on my whiskey bottle. You know how those things where you can like It's like an ancient teapot with like 2 little holes in it, or 2 vessels, and when you plug the hole, it pours out of one, and when you release the hole, it pours out of the other. I want something like that on my whiskey bottle, so like I can
So that you can.
purposefully pour a shot with the slumber essence in it.
It's a
Okay.
specifically rigged bottle.
Which, I mean, that could be a flashback tinker.
Yeah, that's what that sounds like. Either a
Tinker?
flashback tinker or a flashback acid again.
Or you
Let's
just
let's
flashback, you
see.
buy a special bottle.
No, because I don't want the whole thing to go to sleep. That'd be a little weird.
Hitting the drugs too hard.
Hitting it way too hard.
You know what?
That-
I'll just roll finesse because I have 0 in tinker and I have 0 in finesse. So
Can I flashback to Tinker her whiskey bottle?
Yes.
Yeah.
That would be 1 stress.
That's fine.
It's a complex
I'll do
action
it.
in my opinion. Okay, so your flashback. So you're going to tinker with it?
Yeah.
It's gonna be risky standard.
Yeah. I got 1 dice. It's a 2.
Oh God.
Okay, so here's what happens.
Abby, I'm not saying I want you to resist this effect, but I need you to resist this effect. Okay.
I think you make it, but you've made it badly.
Yeah, obviously.
And it only works like half the time how it's supposed to. So it's incredibly unreliable.
Sure.
So you've maybe given it to some people, you've maybe given it to all of them, you've maybe given it to none of them.
Perfect.
You just don't know.
Do you want me to resist that, Logan?
Absolutely. And then I'll just roll finesse on my own.
Okay. What is that even gonna be? Insight?
Probably to realize that you've tinkered
it doesn't. They're all the
and
same
undo
for
it.
me. It doesn't matter.
Like you
Would it
have
be
an
insight?
understanding that you tinkered poorly,
Yeah.
so you undo it.
Yes.
Untinker.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's insight.
Oh, I'm so scared. I'm gonna be upset if I get exhausted.
This isn't Gloomhaven, Abby.
If I get traumatized.
There you go.
Okay, I'm fine.
Okay.
Okay, so in this
that's a good
case,
roll.
I'll just roll finesse like normal to slip it in like normal.
Yeah. So let me see. Yeah, okay. Yes, I'll let you avoid it. You thought about bringing this bottle, but then you were like, there's no way I can trust
This
that this will
bottle
work
too
out
risky.
effectively. So
Too
we'll just
risky.
keep that on the shelf for
I'll do downtime to actually make that.
to another, maybe for another time
in the
as a
works.
lesson learned.
It's in the works, yeah.
Okay, so now roll finesse to try and do that.
Or prowl to do it sneaky.
Yes.
Because I'm not really trying to do it like delicately. I'm just trying to mask it in me handing shots to everybody.
Okay. I think you're risky standard either way.
Oh, perfect. Well, I'll do prowl because I have 1 dot. Do I want to...
Yes.
What?
You want more than 1 dice.
Well, does somebody want to assist me?
I can assist you. I'm just trying to think how. Yeah, maybe I block the guard's eyesight as I'm helping hand out shots so he doesn't see you pouring from a different. Like I'm providing visual cover.
Okay.
So that's just she takes 1 stress and I get a bonus die.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Here we go. 5.
Okay, you do it. So you're able to get that in to his shot glass. But y'all keep wasting time with all this nonsense, so tick 2 more on your clock.
Yeah. This is great. This is
Well, we're
perfect.
done in here now, right? So we can just...
Yeah, we want them to arrive
Yeah.
now because we're gonna go there. Okay, perfect.
So
No, them arriving means they arrive at the door.
Yeah.
No,
which
they
is
arrive
not
at the
what you
meeting
want.
place. Okay. Well, we scurry. Should we
After
take
that,
our...
I'd be like,
Okay,
you could keep
what was the outcome of that? Like, what? Why?
just wanted the guy to take this. I wanted the sober guard to have slumber essence.
Yeah.
So he just falls asleep after he takes the shot.
I imagine he gets sleepy pretty quickly. He doesn't just like fall over unconscious, I'd imagine. It just says they fall into a deep sleep.
I think it's immediate.
Well, knowing that, I'll give him, and then I'll like.
I mean, you
lower
cut it with
him.
whiskey.
Yeah. So maybe it has like a minute onset or something, so he just gets really sleepy and he's like, oh, I need to lay down here against the oven or something.
Against the oven. Oh my gosh. To sleep for an hour, yes. But they can be roused. So
I know, yeah.
Okay.
So we take his jacket
Mm-hmm.
because he's obviously overheated.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Oh my god, I forgot. He wasn't supposed to have the liquor anymore. Let's just take his coat from him and cool him down.
Okay, yeah. What are we doing?
Whoa, buddy. And
What
so
is our goal
we can go out and have somebody look official when we meet I mean, we don't have to take the coat. That was my thought. Take the coat. We look a little more official when we meet the real Foghounds. If we wanted to trick them into thinking they actually made the drop. Or we can just wreck and it's fine.
Okay. So you're gonna take both of
I
their
can just hijack their boat and
both of the guards
yes.
sort of servant ensemble.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
We'd be like, oh, we take off the sleepy one's jacket and we tell the trance guard to give us his jacket.
It's like, aren't you hot? You want to give us your jacket.
or we're just like, oh, like you take care of your friend,
Yeah.
and we'll be on our way, essentially.
It's
We
like,
don't have
oh,
to
he must be really tired. You should take him to bed.
Yeah.
Yikes. All right. Okay. Yes.
Group
so you
sway.
you
But
secure
make sure you take his coat off and your coat off and give them to us before you go.
you secure the coats. I will give you the coats. If you want more than the coats, you're gonna have to roll an action for it.
No, we don't want more than the
We don't
coats.
want more than the coats.
Okay. So you just get kind of the coats. You don't really have the full getup because you're
No.
also currently in sailor themed garb.
Super.
Well, we'll
We
ditch the
toss the
tricorns.
tricorns.
And don the coats.
Logan and I are on the
Okay.
same page.
Yeah, I got it. It's fine.
All
Somehow
right.
Duchess has become like a medieval peasant, but it's fine.
Sylph will just like hang out in the background.
Yeah,
as our,
just
like,
I'll
covert
hide
cover.
somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I mean,
the
if
two
you
of you
want it, I can pretend to be someone else, like a chemist or something, being like, "Oh, we're suspicious of your goods. Let me test them real quick," just so it's like.
But if that's not normal practice, then I'm scared.
Yeah.
I'll just hide, and then if they end up like being in a conflict with you, I'll just grab the stuff and go, and then you guys can get out of there whenever. Like, we don't need to save this relationship. We just need
That
to
is true.
leave with the
Yeah.
drugs.
It's
Okay.
just easiest if they deliver the drugs to
Yeah.
us, believing.
I guess
that
how
they're
much
official.
like could Sylph take it and run herself, or is it like 2 really heavy crates that she can't carry by herself?
sink them.
Ooh.
I think it would be you could do it as one person. It is difficult.
Okay.
You would be overloaded as
Okay.
one.
Okay, so let's not do that if we don't need to. We'll try and just get them. To
Yeah,
get the drugs.
that's a good backup plan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
or you can just push them into the water, and
Yeah.
then we'll push them into the water.
Yeah, but
Yeah, just sink the boat.
ideally the Sirens get the good drugs. So
I mean, they didn't say they didn't not want them wet and ruined, but
You're not wrong.
Yeah, I think they wanted them useful, but it doesn't
well,
matter.
they should have put it in the contract.
Contract, yeah, whatever. Anyways, so you find sort of the canal and the docking area that he was talking about. It is sort of covert. It's tucked. There's like a hill, and you can see there's just a very small little docking kind of quay area that leads that you kind of have to walk down to, and there's also a entrance that leads probably to like a tunnel or something that looks like it leads back to the manor house. So y'all come from the outside and you make your way down, but there is a way directly into the manor from this little quay side. And you are just gonna hang out for a little bit until they get here, I'm assuming.
Is there a place to hide?
There's foliage and like probably actually I don't know.
Or
well,
maybe
it's,
I can.
Duskvol is always dark.
That's true.
So
Yeah.
I mean, there's only like one. There's probably no lights unless y'all have one on you in this area,
I'll have a
because it is supposed to
lantern.
be
I
sort of
might have a
disguised.
lantern, but I'll save that to use until it's needed.
Yeah, so you can pretty freely hide everywhere.
Cool. Maybe I should
Relatively
prowl
speaking.
around the building and make sure they're coming in this way.
That
Okay.
works. And then Echo and I will just be there impatiently waiting to grab them.
Yeah. Maybe tell them they're late or something.
Yeah.
And that's why you're waiting for them.
Yeah.
Okay,
So I'm
so
just
you
gonna
want to prowl?
keep a watch. Yeah.
Are you gonna actually? Do you want to roll?
Yeah.
So what is our goal with this?
To see them coming from whatever like to tell which way they're coming from before they
The
get here.
Foghounds?
Yes.
And like maybe how many there are.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. They are coming from the canal. You kind of know this already. They're coming by water.
For sure, though?
How many lanterns has Paul Revere lit?
Because their plans could have changed, and we didn't know about it. Right? Because what the guard told us is just standard procedure. But if it's not necessary, I won't do it.
I don't think it's necessary.
Okay, that's cool. I'll just
standard
hide.
procedure. I guess I meant to be incorporated in the thing. The Foghounds come down the canal
Always?
to this little dock side. Yes, like that's standard procedure is for them to do this, which is what you asked for.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, maybe just you hiding is good, so that you're at least like a surprise if we need you.
Okay.
Cool.
Now, it doesn't take too long. Y'all were cutting it a little close. In like a minute or so, you see a small sort of watercraft, making its way pretty quietly down the canal, and there's just one pretty faint lantern that seems to be sort of doing a focused sweep of the waters to make sure they aren't running into anything as they make their way down. And it doesn't take long before this kind of, like I said, small to medium sized boat sort of pulls up by the side, and you can see 3 Foghounds in there, one of which you recognize, Duchess, as the bear.
Oh God. I'm going to have a lantern lit. Flashback, I'm going to have lit a lantern, and I'm going to like open it on them and be like, blind them almost and be like, you're late. And like have a light so that we are in silhouette.
Darkness.
Not silhouette, but we're in masked by this blinding light.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. So they pull up, and right as they pull up, before they can even get a look at you, really, Duchess sort of opens up the lantern and growls at them.
You're late.
The Foghounds the bear is sort of like, we're not late. I'm never late. I don't know what you're talking about, but here's the goods either way. And sort of he gets ready to pick up sort of this large crate and take it over to you. And if you're not going to interrupt him, he's going to just dump it sort of right on the dockside in front of you, and then he's going to motion to one of the guys, and he says, open it up and try some of this shit so that they know it's the good stuff like usual. And
You're muted.
No need. We're already on a tight schedule. Just be on your way. Quality's never suffered before. I don't expect it to now.
roll
Command?
something. Yeah, roll something.
Roll something. I mean,
Roll
you
something.
could do something else, Logan, if you propose something, but it seems very commandy.
Yeah. So he's gonna go through.
I mean, maybe I just don't. There's no actual harm in him.
No,
just
that's
going
true.
through everything.
Yeah.
I just won't say anything.
They're trying the drugs, not
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
Like we should have in the beginning.
I'm just taking notes on. Oh, this is how it's done.
The more you
So
know.
the one of the other Foghounds comes over and opens it up like usual, kind of shows it off, and the bear gestures to it too, and he's like, go take a look if you like. Make sure it's all there. I promise you.
I'll snap it, echo, and I'll hold the lantern up on the bear so that he can't see my face.
And I'll scurry over and I'll search through as I saw Pendleton did. Just like imitating.
Okay. I think the bear is like, I don't recognize your face.
I don't recognize your face.
Who are you, little lassie? Where are the two regular gentlemen who take care of the transaction?
They were I think I'm gonna be like, they were needed up in the big house and they trusted me to take care of this. Like, what more do you want from us? Like, you're in no position to question us here. We're your patrons.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think I would get up on my high horse, like those guards would, and I'd just be like, shit changes. And, like, you work for us, dude. And, like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've been brought in on this. Like, I'm a new hire. Deal with it, bro.
I'm gonna need you to roll something to
You're
deflect
good.
suspicion.
Sway again.
On the bright side, you get +1d.
I do. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna sway again, plus my deflect suspicion roll, since I'm in disguise with that coat on.
With your coat on, yeah. Okay.
We went out of our way to steal that coat. So
Did we take his name? Did we get his name?
The
No,
guard?
you didn't
I
get
called him
anyone's
Leon.
names.
Okay. Did it at any point?
No, Leon was the
Flashback.
train.
I get his name.
Yeah,
You're right.
Leon
Leon was the train.
You can do that, yeah.
Can I flash back to having been paying attention for either of their names throughout the entire situation?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
And I just want to use that as like an assist for this and be like, blank name. Or I'd be like, yeah, blank was needed up at the manor. Who are you to ask questions, dumb brute, man?
Okay.
We're dripping with disdain.
So you're doing sway?
So I'm doing sway with 2 extra dice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And we said risky standard?
I had not said it yet. But yes.
Yes.
There we go. Okay, 6.
4 dice. It really helps.
The bear kind of growls at you in a deep, low voice, and he says, all right, well, no need to get snippy, I guess. As long as we get our payment like usual. We'll have another shipment ready for you in a week. And then walks away and gets on his boat with his men.
Perf.
Bye.
Boy, bye.
Yeah.
Boy, bye. Okay, you did it. Woo!
Woo!
Yay.
All right.
Points for
So
creativity.
you deliver the goods back to the Sirens. I think you get in contact with Amaris, who that was the bartender.
Oh.
Love
Amaris.
Amaris.
So you get in contact with Amaris, and Amaris says, just come by the Muse. Or, sorry, this one is not the Muse, it is just Muse.
Oh, it's fine for them.
It's fine for this because it's an object, it's a place, it's a building.
We are an idea, okay? We're a phenomenon
No, you
sweeping
are.
the city.
The argument for our naming convention continues.
So drop it at Muse, the place. The
Don't
place
worry.
name.
Firefox will drop it at Muse.
Foxfire.
The
Foxfire.
Firefox. We're not a web browser.
Most
There's no internet. There's no World Wide Web. There's just
Yet.
GGNs and HGNs. Okay, so you drop it off. Amaris gives it a look over and says, "This is some pretty good stuff." And I heard from the fallout that quite a few of Penderton's guests had a bad reaction to his new supply. We'll see how that works out in a little bit. But don't worry, I think we'll have more jobs for you in a little bit of time. Y'all need some rest after a heist like that. And I heard you drew quite a bit of attention. Penderton is on the lookout for 3 women who seem to be ruining his day.
No women hear me, Lord.
All right, and you
We're
get
not afraid of a little heat.
8 coin from that.
Woo!
Oh, I thought you were about to say heat, and I was like, whoa! Okay,
8 coin,
Should
yay.
we do coin 2, 2, and 2? Or 2, 2, 2,
Yeah.
and 2?
Yes.
Okay.
And you can only carry 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you have to stash.
Mm-hmm.
And
But you have to have stash to put it in.
your vault can only hold so much.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you get 2 rep plus 1 rep per tier. They were actually tier 2, so you get 4 rep.
Whoa!
And then we need to do heat, I think, too.
Yes.
Let me see. Which I need to figure out because one of our devil's bargain was
Was
more
additional
heat.
Yes, exactly. Sorry, I'm trying to find the right page real fast. Heat. It's definitely 4 heat
4 heat? Okay.
for high exposure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, make that 5 heat
Okay.
for a high profile or well connected target.
Oh, yeah,
which
that makes sense.
Penderton was. All right. So
Okay, and then it entanglement?
you need to do entanglements, which will someone roll for me?
2.
All right.
So 2, and we have 1, 2.
You have
4,
over 6
5,
heat.
6, 7
Or-
heat. Yeah.
Yeah. So flipped or interrogation. Let's see.
Oh, this is the
Oh,
best
God.
part.
Oh yeah.
I'm not excited about this.
The good news is we don't really have many people they can flip, so they'll be interrogated. Or I don't know, something awful.
I don't know.
Our beggar woman.
Let me see. Huh?
I'm like, our beggar woman seems like a
Oh God.
likely suspect.
Don't take Telda from me.
No,
I
the
mean-
blue coats round up one of the PCs,
Yeah.
one of the players,
Oh.
not your fringe members,
But-
but
Alright,
one of
fine.
y'all. Give me 1 second. I want to look at your sheets real fast.
You could do
Um,
flipped as well.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm leaning towards flipped, but I need to see if there's one that makes sense.
Level 2 harm.
Oh God.
If they beat you up.
Yeah, it's pretty bad if they beat you up, so you probably want to pay them off. So flipped. Okay, so Sergeant Arthur hears about
Classic.
all that you guys have been doing, and he has a vendetta, and he's been researching into Echo and her previous sort of life, yeah, and what she's been up to. And he figures out that you used to work and live with Clyra. And he kind of throws his weight around a little bit, and using his connections to the Bluecoats as well as her vulnerable position as a Scovlin, he convinces her to work with the Bluecoats against her old tenant, so to speak.
Clyra.
So Clyra is
our race
no
was
longer
thicker
loyal to
than-
you.
Do I know that? When they flip, do you know?
Yeah, I think
Yes,
so.
you hear word on the street, so yes.
So
They're
no
loyal to
longer
another
welcome.
faction now. So Clyra is loyal to the Bluecoats. Unless, if you wanted, you could do like a downtime activity
Get her
to
back, yeah.
work on that, but it would be a long-term project.
That's so far the Scoblins haven't been that useful to me. So
You never know, could have come in clutch somehow.
it could come in.
I just liked bringing in Arthur again.
Yes. That hound.
Interrogation's kind of boring, even though it's painful. Okay, downtime activities. You get 2.
I will be indulging my vice.
Same.
Yeah.
All right. Everyone indulge your vice. Please roll. Whoa, 6. That
Nice.
was good.
I have 0 stress.
Whoa.
Wow. Go Sarah, too.
Oh.
Oh.
Sad. But I can just
Yikes.
do it again because I have 6
Yeah.
left, so I will. Woo! Doing great.
And you could even do it again.
If I paid a coin?
Yeah.
Or a rep.
Don't pay a rep.
Guys, I think I actually overindulged.
Wait, did you have 6?
I had 5. So
Oh, no!
I got a 6.
Uh-oh. She overindulged.
I thought you started with 5.
No. I started with 3. But
Okay.
I might not have marked my last assist.
You started with 3. You took stress more than 2 times, right?
Yeah, I probably forgot to mark 1.
You assisted at least twice.
I assisted twice.
And didn't you lead a group action?
I
No,
led
that
a
was
group
Abby.
action.
Oh.
I
no.
didn't lead a group action.
Mm-mm. I think you might have only had 5.
Well,
Shoot. Well, shoot.
Okay. Overindulge. You become enraptured by the gambling at the fighting in the fighting pits, and you get to select an overindulgence. So you can
Okay.
attract trouble, select or
Jeez.
roll an additional entanglement, brag, which gives +2 heat, Lost, you vanish for a few weeks, play a different character till this one returns. Or tapped, the purveyor cuts you off. Find a new source for your vice.
Don't take heat because
I'm
we
gonna
can't
say
afford
tapped. I'll be tapped and I'll find a new place.
All right, Sergeant Velk cuts you off.
I mean, it's at the docks. The Foghounds are at the docks. I probably shouldn't be hanging out there anyway. It's just kind of like
The fighting
a
pits are
bad
neutral
idea.
ground. Anyone
They
can enjoy a
are,
good
but I
gamble.
have to get there.
True. Okay. Sergeant Velk cuts you off, and you will need to find a new source, which I don't know exactly how that's going to work.
There is at least one purveyor of.
I think you might have to acquire an asset out of it.
Well, this 0 stress better be worth it.
We'll figure it out. So
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
So, or Echo needs.
I think I want to start a long-term project to make this little tinker bottle.
Okay, you want to do a long-term project to get that?
Yeah.
So do you want it to be like a special item, special version of your whiskey bottle, or like an enhancement to your whiskey bottle, basically?
I just want it to be like I can one time per score use slumber essence in a shot of whiskey undetected. Like I want the whiskey bottle and like maybe in the neck, like the neck has a double line and there's this clear liquid in the middle and you can like plug a hole when you pour. And so it comes out of there instead.
I think first you need to get someone who can do that.
Okay.
So either I think your first
Duchess isn't proficient in glass blowing?
No, nor with trick whiskey bottles, though she probably knows many tricks to do with
and
this
whiskey bottles.
but
Okay.
not how to make them. So
is that just acquiring an asset rather than a long-term
I
project?
think this is really an acquire asset. Because you want to basically acquire a special item to some extent.
I do. I don't want it to be temporary, though.
Well, if you do it enough times, it becomes permanent.
Yeah, it's work on it as a long-term project if you want a permanent acquisition.
Oh, is that how that works?
Yeah, it says it at the end of acquire asset.
Okay. Oh, there it is.
Oh, okay, yes. Yeah, okay. So we'll make it a long-term project.
Okay. I imagine it's not very complicated to make. I just need to find somebody to do it for me.
Yeah, I think it's like I don't know, but it's pretty powerful. Let's say it's an 8 clock to acquire the services and pay for them and get it exactly how you want.
Okay, and is it consort to try and find this person? Because I'm not doing it. I'm not doing the actual.
Yeah, you're not.
Yeah, I think consort makes sense.
I think they are going to be consort roles, or maybe you could say sway because you're paying them. So money is the.
I'll just consort. It's the easiest. And then downtime, position, and effect don't matter. Do matter?
I don't think they matter.
I don't think they matter.
No, it's not gonna matter.
Okay, so on a 4-5, I think I mark
2 segments.
2 segments. Okay. Okay. And it was an 8 clock.
Mm-hmm. So Echo gets another downtime action.
So do I, right?
Yeah, I said Echo.
Yeah.
That's you.
That's me, isn't it? Can I reduce heat?
Oh,
Yeah.
I was gonna spend some of the coin of our group to also do that. So if you don't want to use your downtime for it, you could do something else.
Okay, if you're gonna spend coin to do that, then I would to train.
Okay.
And I'm gonna put it in my prowess, and then I will have a full bar
Nice.
XP.
Okay, so when you get a full bar, you
So
get to
many
place a
desperate
dot
rolls.
wherever
I want.
you get to
Okay,
open.
guys.
Yeah, wherever you want, basically.
Do we want me to have 1 dot in prowl, or do we want me to have 2 dots in like finesse or skirmish or wreck?
It's up to you.
Yeah.
All of them would be useful, but at the same time not useful because we
I
always
know.
roll like shit.
All right, I'm gonna go for at least being good at one thing.
if you spread them out, then your prowess resistance becomes better.
That's true.
I mean, my
But it's
prowess
already
resistance is already 3.
Yeah.
So then I would have 4 resistance.
You have 1 dot in everything?
Yeah.
Except prowl.
Except so I would
What?
have I have really good resistance in prowess and resolve.
Yeah, just none in insight.
Oh.
I have 1 dot in insight.
Well, never mind then.
Okay, so I chose to add to finesse since I finesse things a lot.
Okay. Cool. So you clear your XP track and you get your dot in finesse.
Mm-hmm.
And you
Did
both of your
did your training
downtimes?
include the extra one you get?
We get
So-
2 in training.
Yeah, you get 2 in
Oh
training.
no, it didn't include the extra.
So then
I'll
I think
have
you get 1
dot.
for your new one too.
Yeah, you carry over. And I think I'm going to spend some of my coin to do an additional action. Maybe while I'm at the opera, I like rub shoulders with like a blue coat of some type, and I just like arrange for some of the papers that Sergeant Arthur has been stashing on us. I just arrange for some of them to go missing again.
He can't keep
to
track of
reduce our
papers, poor
heat.
man.
Yes.
Okay. So what action do you want to roll?
Just like consort with somebody at the
Okay.
opera.
Then roll consort.
So, what is this? This is
5
reduce heat
by 2.
2 heat. Okay. Oh, that's not as good as I thought.
Y'all
Okay.
better not get much more.
Okay.
Can I spend a
Alright.
coin to do prowess training too?
Yeah,
Okay.
of course. Y'all could spend a rep to get more heat off.
No, that's
Can
fine.
Or Sylph or Echo can roll.
Yeah, can I spend how much coin does it cost to
Just 1.
take
Just
an-
1.
Okay, yeah, I'll take 1 coin.
Or you could increase the level of that roll, Logan.
Oh, by doing what?
By spending, you also spend, I think you can spend another coin. Let me...
But that would just get 1 more heat off.
Yeah, it's better to
Oh,
get
is
a new
6
roll.
only 1 more? Yeah, it's only worth it to go up to critical, I think.
Yeah. I think I'll spend it. Can I have spent our coin for our group to have done that?
The crew coin? Yeah, that's what I thought you
Okay.
were doing.
Oh, okay. And then I'm going to spend my coin to train prowess as well.
Yeah.
Train, train, train.
And for me, I will still spend 1 of my coin to reduce heat
Mm-hmm.
by like maybe talking up a bigger problem. So like we're like the
Spreading
trending-
rumors or something?
Yeah, like we're the trendy thing right now, but I'm gonna like spread misinformation about like other things so that people get, distracted.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You roll an action.
I'm gonna say that's sway.
Sure.
Doesn't matter what the position is.
Ooh,
Critical.
Crit.
Reduce it by
Reduce
5.
heat by 5.
Really good.
We have no heat anymore.
Wow,
I'm
nice.
really good at spreading dissent, apparently.
So y'all can't roll for crap during any of the heists, but the downtimes, man.
Except I've overindulged.
Yeah.
Except that overindulge. But there's worse
People
fates
don't
than
even
that.
know we exist anymore.
We've disappeared. They suddenly got so much more worried about
this
what
new threat. This
Echo
new
was
gang.
talking up. Okay. And that is
XP?
that.
XP.
XP. Okay, so y'all did all your desperate rolls already.
Yep.
Now you all have your playbook specific XP triggers, which have to do with how you address a challenge.
I mean, I definitely deceived and influenced a lot.
And I definitely did conspiracy and calculation
a lot. I did stealth or evasion like once.
Yeah, well, you all get 1.
Sarah, what are yours?
I think Sarah gets 2.
I think Sarah gets 2.
Do I not get 2?
No, you don't.
Why? I did so many things that were calculating. I flash back to try and find his name.
Oh my gosh, your flashbacks were killing me.
Pretty much every time I flash back, I'm trying to do something conspiracy or calculation.
That's so vague. Yeah,
it is kind of
Abby's
hard
is
to define
sneaking
them.
around.
Yeah, but that didn't come up this time.
It didn't. It really didn't.
And Sarah's just tricking somebody. That's vague.
Yeah, I mean they are.
Mine is deception or influence. I address a challenge by deceiving someone or influencing them.
It doesn't have
Which
to
I
say
pretty
you
much always
succeed
do.
on the challenge. You just have to have addressed the challenge.
Logan, my answer is final.
Sean, I want you to rewatch this entire thing and note. I'm going to just start using the words. I'm going to be like, Sean, I am calculating this. Sean, I'm conspiring.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it'll help me remember.
Oh my Jesus.
Okay. Did anybody express your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background?
No.
No.
I mean, I guess I expressed my background a little bit at the bar when I was like,
Yes.
haven't had eel's breath.
You get 1 for that. Yes, definitely.
I expressed a belief in that I have a disdain for the arcane.
Yes, I will give you XP for that because you didn't want to work for the Sirens because you felt they were arcane.
Did I express a belief by wanting to work for the Sirens because they're arcane?
Well,
you didn't really
went to
play
your
it up.
lover.
Is the
Didn't
only
you?
thing.
I did go to my lover.
You
Was
did.
going to your lover,
which was pretty fun. I will give you an XP for that.
Hey, thanks. I want to go see her again. She seems nice.
She's got nice hair.
Is she your
Full of
vice
secrets.
or trauma?
No. Not yet.
Okay.
Does overindulge count as struggling with a vice?
Yes. I think yes.
Yes, I'm not sure. Now I've got to check because it mentions it, but it doesn't mention exactly how that works.
I think it wouldn't count this time, but next time when you do things to get your vice back,
Yeah.
it would count.
Okay, I'll take that. That sounds fair.
Okay, so y'all got XP from all of that.
See.
Crew XP.
Let's see.
What
Did
are
we
crew
execute
specific?
a successful espionage, sabotage, or theft? Technically, we did steal something at the end.
Yes.
We did boat off with the goods.
Yes, you did.
And we kept the boat too.
Would you?
I don't think you used the boat. They
No, we
took the boat
definitely
with them.
didn't use the
No.
boat.
No.
We
Do we
have our
count?
boat.
We sabotaged something. No, we didn't. Never mind.
No, we didn't sabotage.
Can we contend with challenges above our current station?
I mean, we did sabotage his party.
It was a bad party.
Did. I mean, you hurt an opponent by destroying something.
We destroyed his reputation.
We destroyed his sense
I'm
of
just
innocence
gonna give
and
y'all 1
trust.
XP. Just 1.
Yeah.
No, Sean, give us more.
For all of that. Okay. Did you contend with challenges above your current station? Yes.
Super.
Did
we
you
bolster our
bolster
crew's
your
reputation?
crew's reputation or develop a new one?
Can we develop contractual?
Yeah. I might give it to you if you do it again. Yes.
Okay. We don't
Did you
have...
do anything
No.
to promote your current reputation? Not really.
I mean, what's inner conflict?
I mean, we
Express
got
the
an
goals,
alliance.
drives, inner conflict, or essential nature of the crew.
We did get an alliance.
I wouldn't go that far. You're currently working for someone.
We worked towards an alliance.
Is that a goal or essential nature of the crew?
No.
No.
What
I
is
think
your
if we
drive?
play up,
I think
if we play up the I don't like the arcane and you like the arcane, that could be an inner conflict. But we need to
do more.
Yes. So I think you got 2.
Okay. Halfway there.
We're halfway there.
All right. That's that.
Cool.
Good job, guys. We have successfully completed 2 heists.
Hashtag lying through our teeth.
Lying through your teeth. Getting by the skin of your teeth. And I think we will be doing Dungeon World next week. Without Abby, unfortunately. Because she will be busy.
I might be here, maybe.
Maybe, if
It's
we're
like
very
a
lucky.
15% chance that I'm
Whoa,
not in
very
Nebraska.
Small. So hopefully we'll hope, but thanks so much for joining us. We'll have Blades in the Dark again in 2 weeks unless some other strange scheduling thing happens. Which you never know. And thanks so much for joining us.
Bye.
Bye everyone.